apologize. I have my high octaves. I apologize for that.
No, you all good.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to Bridging the Gap on Kelly Connection. Thank you for joining. I appreciate everyone that is joining us in the chat. We do have other ladies joining soon, so I'm sorry they're in different time zones. So please forgive me, Raul Duke. Please, I'm so sorry. But you all know I do like to start out with the icebreaker question. So I'll start there, and hopefully the ladies will join before you gentlemen end. Okay. So, starting my show, I always do an icebreaker. So, here's the question. You are having a wonderful day at work. When you get home, you realize your significant other is missing. You call them and they do not answer. Then you get a notification from the bank that your account has been emptied and no funds are available. How do you respond? Anyone can chime in.
I'm calling the cops.
Not the cops.
Well, I'm not
You
joking.
did see the topic was his money, my money, our money. So we're gonna get into that, but this is my icebreaker question.
Yeah. So I had this discussion a long time ago on someone else's channel,
Mhm.
and I think what the reality of the situation is, that is very rare and uncharacteristic for certain types of people,
Okay.
right? In certain demographic groups. Because let me tell you, if you're going to do that, if you're going to do something like that, and we have children, you damn sure taking the kids, right? So I'm not supposed to ever see you again. It's not like you work at the same place, and I'm just going to walk in your office and pull a "Why did I get married to" on you. You know what I mean? You remember that scene, Janet Jackson going in there with the
Mhm.
with the rainbow stripper and all of that. Yeah, so no, you must have uprooted yourself from this entire life and expect never to see me again if you do something like that. So I'm calling the cops to put it on record that okay, there's been a kidnapping. Okay, because yeah, you if you're gonna do that, you're also probably gonna try to take the children, so you got to get that on record. So I'll start there.
Okay. So you would take it from her taking money out of your joint account
Mhm.
to her kidnapping your children. You just that
So
went
here,
way
well, that I'm just trying to make the correlation. Unless you're just gonna abandon your children, the women are like, let's be real, women are gonna try to take the children with them. So there's no way you're just gonna empty someone's bank account and they get their own apartment, and the next time you see them, it's just like, hey, what's new? Mother, where's my money? Like, yeah, you got to understand that they're expecting to never see you again.
They're probably
And
leaving the state or the country with the
exactly, and
children
you
and
know
the
what's
money.
crazy about it too? I'm actually endorsing it. I'm actually endorsing that men do stuff like that. The reason these
Ooh.
things can happen, and the reason why you don't hear about men doing it is because we're too we're too noble. We don't want to hurt the mother of our children, right? We don't want to do bad things to her. We don't want our children to see us do those things to her. But I am advocating that men start doing bitch ass stuff to women. Everything you wouldn't do, start doing it. It's the only way to stop this behavior. I'm sorry. I know it sounds terrible, but everything
Okay.
you wouldn't do because of your nobility, you have to start doing because of just because of all the misbehavior in society.
Okay. So call the cops because she has robbed you of your resources and stole your children.
Yep.
That's Sugar Mike's response. Anybody else have a different one?
When at first he said call the cops, I thought he was actually worried about his woman, like
No,
some type of
no.
house burglary. But I
Come
guess,
on.
and
Look
then
at the
no disrespect. I don't know you, but that's an interesting question, Kelly. It depends what state your relationship is in. Maybe if you're rich and you share an account, it could be like an extortion. Who knows? Maybe
Mhm.
the mafia got her, emptied out the account. But I guess more than likely,
That's an
if
interesting take. Like
I
this
mean,
is very movie. The
well, because
mafia
you
got
don't want to believe that the it depends how your relationship is, but hopefully you're in love if you're sharing bank accounts and you have trust. And
Mhm.
that's a tough pill to swallow. Like, oh, it's one thing to leave me, but you got to take all the money
Take
too.
all the
I mean,
money.
damn,
Yes.
give me a break. And that's tough. That's hard. I mean, either way, in the divorce, they're going to get you. So might as well get it on the front end. And I guess like go through the house real quick, see if there's anything valuable, and hide it, and change the locks. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's horrible. I haven't been through that. I mean, I've been through a few things, but not that.
I actually know someone this happened to. It was actually the female it happened to. She was at work, just having a great day. She came home, and the gentleman left their child. This is her husband, and he took all the money and went to Venezuela with some floozy. He just left.
It's not a floozy. It's a love. Earlier, you're talking about soulmate. He went to live with his soulmate. He was in love, and you can't deny love. Come on.
Oh, that's how we're playing that one. Okay,
I'm
Raul Duke.
Yeah.
You believe that's a soulmate?
Y'all getting wild.
Soulmate, Venezuelan. Someone hot enough to leave your wife, steal all the money, and go to Venezuela. Definitely soulmate.
Oh my gosh.
Passport bros unite.
Okay.
I'm more
Raul
with Mike
Duke?
on this one.
Okay.
If all of a sudden you come home and your bank account's empty, most likely number one, don't fucking share your bank account. Just don't do it.
Hold on. We're gonna get into that.
No.
But if for some reason you're dumb enough to do that, like I understand, like if it's like the 1960s, you share your bank account and one of you pays all the bills and the other one doesn't. I get that. This is 2023, kids. Don't share your goddamn bank accounts. You don't need to do that. Number one. Number two, like what Mike said, first thing you do is you just call the bank and you put in somebody robbed my shit. You put in the hold or whatever, and then you work from there. You figure out if she's been kidnapped or if she just left your ass, or there's some movie where what's his nuts has to come in and rescue her from some, slave trade in the fucking Balkans, whatever. You just do that first. But number one, ladies and gentlemen, don't share your fucking bank accounts. You don't need to. You can be married and not share a goddamn bank account. You don't need to do that.
We are going to get into that, so stay tuned for that particular question.
Very well.
Did everyone have a chance to chime in? And I'm not going to keep
Only
you guys.
3 of us.
long
Yes,
here
all of us
tonight.
did.
I
Well-
kind of got to chime in with Raul here.
Go ahead.
I don't want to spoil the topic, but it's and I think I'm gonna. Well, hopefully, I'll be a great guest for this because I've been on all sides of this: the poor one, the not poor one, but the thing that I want to talk to Raul about is you can share or not share. If you're married, when that divorce hammer comes down, they're gonna split it. It doesn't matter if you share or not.
Yep.
So
Oh, no,
if
you're
anything,
right with that. But
if
she's like saying,
anything, sharing is a good idea because, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, Kelly. At least you can kind of keep an eye on it, maybe.
Yep. I'm on that.
Sorry, I
team,
didn't
but-
answer the question. Can you repeat it for me, please?
Oh,
It's four
hold
of
on.
us.
I think Trigger Mike was saying something. Did you? And then I'll read.
No, I'm good.
You're good. Okay.
I'm just
okay.
saying I like what Barnabas is saying. Yep.
Okay. So I'll reread the question. You're having a wonderful day at work. When you get home, your significant other is missing. You call them and they do not answer. Then you get a notification from the bank that your account has been emptied and no funds are available. How do you respond to this?
First thing I'm gonna do is try to reach out to her.
But you've already done that. She's not answering the phone.
Oh, she's not answering.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded.
I'm gonna try to see if I got some tracking information. If I can
Not tracking.
find my iPhone or something like that, or maybe she has OnStar. I don't know. They still got OnStar. Is that still a thing?
Kelly, look out for your clothes. He's got
Now,
an
they got
Apple
to put on
tag
Google
somewhere on your shirt.
Google Nav in the damn car. You could talk through it now. It's all
Okay. Well,
Kelly's
I'm
purse is tagged right now.
gonna do something like that because I don't want to put out a false police report. So
No, he has air tags and everything. In his wallet, on his keychain, on his
On your
AirPods.
purse. Your purse has an air tag sewn inside of it right now.
yeah.
No. Hi, Cloud. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry for the delay. I got a little caught up, but I'm here. I wanted to get involved.
Absolutely. I mean, all my guys are on time. I don't know where the girls are, but we'll wait for them. Maybe not.
All right.
Did you-
All right.
Were you finished with the question? Because I'll read it over for Cloud unless he heard it. I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah.
I did not hear any questions. So please, yes, get me up to
Okay.
speed.
Okay. Are you finished, Lapeep, with your comment?
Yeah. I was finished. I mean, I would. The last resort would be calling the authorities. I mean, I want to make sure that it isn't. I hate to call them and then this comes out as something personally going on that I couldn't handle myself. So I'll just try to figure out if it's really an emergency. If it's not an emergency, then I I just handle it myself.
It's not
Okay.
against the law. You know, even if you
Not.
call the police for someone who has access to an account to take all the money out.
Yeah, but I mean, I could be wasting time. I could be doing my own investigation. So by the time the police get there, are they gonna really do an investigation on that? I mean, they'll probably tell us, hit us back in about 24 hours, and then we'll see if the person is missing. So
Sounds
You
like
gotta
you've done it before. Have you done this before?
no, I've never done it before. I'm just thinking as it's unfolding right now. So no, I've never done it. I've never come home and a bank account has been empty and someone's missing. So that's never been a thing.
So that was the question. It was so when I start my shows, I always do an icebreaker before I get into the main topics. I like to put people in a scenario, see how they would handle it. So my question is, I'm only telling you because it's your first time on my show. So the question is, you're having a wonderful day at work. You even get a call from your spouse, and you guys talk, and you love each other, kissy, side effects. And then when you get home, you realize your significant other is missing. You call them and they don't pick up the phone. Then you get a notification from the bank that your account has been emptied and there are no funds available. How do you handle that? How do you respond?
How much money was in the account?
It's all of it. It's you guys' life savings. It's in that account.
Do we got a number amount or just any amount?
Let's say $100,000. Is that?
She did. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, I don't know. My immediate, I hate to say it, but my immediate thought is like I would be thinking something violent, or you know, like I definitely have to file some type of lawsuit or something. Like I don't know. Like I would have to call a lawyer immediately and see what kind of lawsuit I can get involved, like to get the money back, because I'm sure there has to be some requirement of her to get my permission, or like her disappearing must prove that she had nefarious intent or something, you know. So I'm pretty sure I can get some type of theft situation involved with that, or like some type of divorce filing where that money is involved in that. But I'll definitely try to set that up, and if not, then I don't know. You know, the only other way would be life insurance. You know.
All right, I gotta add to it.
Wait,
yeah. So you see what I'm saying? Men gotta start doing this type of stuff. So think about it. If this happened to a woman naturally, I mean, the dude is in for it. You go hunting for a dude, they get it on record. You know, even male cops have this type of thing, you know, for helping damsels. He took all my money. Ooh. Men have this thing now where you have to do what I said. Not only do you have to call the cops to get it on record that your money has been stolen, right? You have to realize the propensity for women to turn this around on you. I didn't take that money. That was our money. You see what I'm saying? And then it just dissipates into thin air. I didn't take anything from him. Can you prove? And you're like, what? No. So you have to call in the kidnapping. Do you know, I forget what percentage, don't quote me. There's a percentage of these Amber Alerts that we get. It's just baby mamas and baby daddies calling an Amber Alert on each other to let them know you just can't take the kids when you want to. Right? Men have to start doing stuff like that to let these people know. Stop being noble toward her. If she's misbehaving, if she's missing visitation, if she took the kids without your permission, call an Amber Alert on her ass. That's what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? That's the only way to stop the misbehavior. I know as men, we don't want to do that. We don't want our kids thinking we're treating their mother any kind of way. But if you want to stop the behavior, that's how you do it.
Don't let Twitter hear you. It's giving petty. It's giving sassy. That's what they'll say on Twitter.
It's all good.
Sugar Mike, I have personally met your wife. I don't think you would do that.
You know what? I would, but I would, but luckily for me, I'm probably not going to ever experience that problem. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say she's awesome. I just couldn't even.
I was gonna say, yeah. I'll probably
you would probably like check everything. Like it couldn't.
And you know what? You know what
happened? Like what's something?
I don't know. So I don't know if y'all heard me say it before on another network. When we talk about women that don't do certain things for their husband, of course we endeavor and we choose good women to be our wives. But have y'all ever noticed that the women who don't act up usually have even in the 1 percentile a little bit of fear about what their man might do if they cross him? Throughout my life, like my aunts, everybody, their husbands were like, you know, they had that persona about them where it's like, boy, if she ever did blank, Unc might snap. He might. You see what I'm saying? So the woman has like a healthy amount, not like he's gonna hit me or nothing like that. But this dude is crazy, and I've known him long enough to know that he does not let anyone cross him, and that may include me too. So I'm not gonna do this stuff to him out of respect, more than fear, out of respect. So
Okay. Did anybody else have anything to chime in before I get into the topic?
Do you have kids, Trigger Mike?
I got two, a boy and a girl.
And they're with your wife? I mean, can I ask? Do you mind?
They're in the house with me right now. Yeah, my wife is here. Yeah, I'm married.
But you're not. You haven't gone through like the visitation divorce proceeding
none of
in your
that.
lifetime.
None of that. No.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I agree with, turning the same evil against them. It's like if you do the things that your quote unquote enemy, I don't want to call them enemy, despises, then you become them, right? You want to elevate it, but I don't have kids, and I see what these men go through, and it looks horrible. It looks really tough, and who knows what the person would do put in that position, I guess.
Become the enemy, bro. Become the enemy.
I have a story of a doctor I used to work with, and I asked him because he was I guess getting something for his wife for Valentine's Day, and I was like, oh, that's so awesome. He's like, yeah, but after you get married and you have a joint account, you can't really surprise them anymore because they can kind of see what you're already purchasing. I was like, oh, so you believe in joint accounts? And he said, yeah, of course, we're married. And I was like, well, what happens if you come home one day and all the money's gone? And he like teared up. This is what he did. He teared up. He said, the thought of her leaving, that would be worse than her taking the money. She could have the money. I would be sad that she was gone.
Cap.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Cap.
That's what he said. He was like,
Cap.
Something don't seem right about that.
That's what he said. He didn't care about the money. He would be sad she was gone.
Did y'all see the
Something
gas?
don't seem right.
Did y'all see the gas? Nah, Cap.
Man, that's true love, and you guys are laughing at it. I mean,
Right,
that's really true love.
literally.
I'm not laughing, but something don't seem right about it. But I'm not laughing.
The irony about
love
what
and
you
trust.
just said, the irony about what you just said and what I just explained is those are the men that get left and their money taken. That's all I'm saying.
It's like you guys don't.
You want to be in that loving relationship where you love her and you trust.
You want, and you can like say that she's the ultimate beautiful creature in your life. And I get that, but if all of a sudden the money's fucking gone, call the bank and stop it, and then figure shit out. Because you never fucking know. No matter how smart you think you are, your girl might be smarter, and she might hate your guts. Why is this even a discussion? What would you do? Oh, I'd let her have the money and just go on. That motherfucker must be a millionaire. Okay? For the rest of us middle class Americans, you take my 100 fucking grand, what the fuck? And we're gonna have a goddamn problem. I don't care if you're the mother of my children. We're gonna have a discussion about this. And I'm gonna set up an evidence trail to show that you fucking took this shit. Because you weren't supposed to. If we sign a contract morally between ourselves or legally in front of a judge, I don't give a fuck. We're sharing this shit. This is you and me together, baby. And all of a sudden she walks off and takes all of it. Not only are you legally wrong, you're morally wrong. You betrayed my fucking trust. We were in this shit together. You literally just fucked me over. Now we get to fight. Or at least discuss before we fight.
So Raul Duke's very serious about his money, it sounds like.
About everything.
So, wait, would you be more mad if she cheated on you or took the money? Like, which one would you be more pissed off about? We're getting off topic, but I'm just curious.
That's a good question.
Equal.
Same shit.
So cheating versus $100,000 gone is equivalent to you.
Same shit. The idea was that we agreed to tackle life together, you and me, right? Versus everyone against the world. You and I are going to build this shit. We're going to fight against all the goddamn injustices and the rich people fucking us over. And we're going to try to make some kind of life out of this, right? And then you fuck me? That's a huge deal, Kelly. You can't walk
So
away with
you,
like,
so you don't like
I'm
distrust.
sorry,
It sounds like
I
it's
didn't
the
mean to do
distrust.
it.
You don't like when someone you lose trust in a person.
I don't like betrayal. Regardless
No
of
betrayal.
money, love, sex, whatever. Betrayal, fuck you, now we're enemies. We have to
Okay.
fight. Everything else we can talk about. You know, did you run over that kid on the stop sign? Let's talk about it. You know, did you accidentally get into some insider trading? We'll talk about it. But you betray my trust.
Okay.
And we're gonna have a
Treat her
goddamn.
like trash.
We're gonna have a problem.
Well, I'm actually about to flip the script a little bit on you gentlemen. I was trying to wait for the ladies. I don't know where they are, and I'm kind of upset because I feel like it's gonna be a one-sided conversation. So I'm gonna try to hold down for the ladies. But this is the main topic, and I have a lot of questions that are gonna revolve around this. Okay. So Trigger Mike, do you mind reading it?
Trigger Mark.
Trigger Mike, the mic.
You said the super chat. Well, what? I'm sorry.
No,
what was it?
it's not a super chat. It is a scenario, and this is the main discussion that I would like to have.
Oh, it's not at the bottom yet. Okay.
No, this is it.
Wow.
If
All
it's too
right.
small, let me know.
Raul, I just want to know what you were wowing at. Can you explain real quick?
The lady.
He has a very nice
Paragraph. Okay, got you. I got you.
personality. Seems
That was
very
a
If
really
there is
nicely
something-
structured paragraph.
Very
Got you.
nice pair of something.
The punctuation is like
off the
Yeah,
chart.
yeah.
the all caps. I mean, wow.
All right. My husband, pause. My husband works and I am a stay-at-home mom. He is the most unselfish person I know. I handle all the finances and he never said or acted like it was his money. It's our money. Anyway, he is upset with me because he found out I had a bank account he knew nothing about. I've been making money online and keeping it from him. He says that his problem is not that I've been making money online, but that I kept it from him in the event of divorce someday. He said that women keeping a stash of hidden money in case the marriage fails is like a man keeping a side chick in case the marriage fails. And we both need to be all in or nothing. My mom raised me to have a secret stash that my husband doesn't know about. Is this wrong? Is my husband right?
Okay. So that is what I want to discuss. Let me take this down so we can see everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to discuss.
Dead wrong.
So my first question is, should a woman have her own money? And what should that look like in a marriage? Or if you guys want to comment on that topic, because I have a lot of questions revolving around this. So if you want to comment on her questions first, you're more than welcome to. Initial responses.
I'll go. I definitely think that when it comes to a woman having her own money, I would say that yes, in the event that you're both working and someone's not providing, then yes, you should have your own money. You should each have your own money. I mean, you should have money that you share, and you should each have your own money, just as individuals. However, in a circumstance where a woman's being provided for, and a guy's taking care of all the bills, and like she said, the money's our money, then if the money's our money, you ain't got no money neither. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm paying all the bills and I'm the main breadwinner, then I don't care if you got a little side hustle, whatever. That money's going in the pot. That's our money too. Like everything's for the pot. Especially if we living off of my work. So if we're living off mine, then you don't have money. Like you know what I'm saying? Everything. If all my money goes to the household, everything you got, your time, your money, everything goes to the household as well. That's the only way it's gonna be fair. But if we're both splitting bills, then to have a split that's in proportion to what we invest in the household, I think is fair. Like if we're paying 50-50, let's say, which I'm not saying it should be, but I'm saying if we're paying 50-50 and we're making a similar salary and we're both saving $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, however, then I feel like that's fair. But if I'm paying a mortgage and all of that, and I could barely save $100, and you over here saving 2, 3, 4, 5 grand a month for yourself, that don't make no type of sense. Like nah, then that's our vacation money. That's gonna be our saving money. That's gonna be our going out money, because I'm not gonna be paying all these bills and all the dates and all this, and you just stacking and you just that don't make sense to me.
Okay. Fair answer. Clout. Thank you. Big
All right,
clout. You go ahead. Go ahead, Lapeep.
yeah, so I'll go ahead and go next. I don't have a problem with her having her own money. I think that she should. I mean, even if you're, when I say own money, like even if you gave her an amount, let's say you are the breadwinner and you're supporting the household and she doesn't have a job. I mean, give her some money to play around with and do whatever it is that she want to do. I mean, I don't really think it's too much of a big deal for her to do what she wants to do instead of like the man being able to dictate every single part as far as what she does with her money. But I'm okay with her having a separate stash. Now, if that stash is plans to leave or plans to come up, that's a whole different story. Now, if I just come across without looking and I see that she got 10 G's saved up, it's like, damn, what, you've been saving your money, ain't you? Like, what's going on? So I would have to further investigate the situation then that was to present itself. But I'm okay with her having her own stash as long as it's not nothing that's playing negative to against the relationship.
So you believe in like giving an allowance?
Yeah, I mean, I think she should get some money and do whatever she want to do with it. I don't have to give her the money and then say, I need you to do this. It's just like, if she's been serving the house and doing what she's supposed to do, then just give her some money for her to play around with, do whatever she want to do.
Okay, I just want to ask that real quick. Like it, because if it's our money, like in that scenario, and I'm providing, I'm assuming she has the debit card. I'm assuming she has a credit card. So it's like if she has a credit card and she got a debit card and she can spend my money, what does she need money for? Whatever she needs to go buy, the money is there. So it's like, what does she need her own money for when she can just spend it from our money? I'm not gonna say no. You know what I mean? Like, why would I say no? You can't go buy the things you need. I feel like the only reason she would need her own money is because she's intentionally buying something she know I wouldn't approve of. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. You want to chime in, Lapeef? You have a response for that?
I mean, I can understand the point that he's coming from, but I just think if you just like, I don't like to micromanage to the extent like that. Like I mean, she might be trying to do a surprise for you, and if you got the same credit card, you're gonna automatically see it. But I'm not saying you get surprised every day. But I think if you trust her, then she should be able to. I mean, she might just want to wake up and go do something. But if it's coming out of her own pot and not the house account, then I don't see no issue with it. Like, I think that you can have a joint account, but if she has an account that she wants to spend from, and she's making, I just don't see an issue with it. I mean, she can do whatever she want to do with the money, as long as there's nothing negatively against the relationship, the marriage, or something that would look bad upon us. So I'm not saying go do nothing crazy. I'm not saying go gambling, or she got some other type of habits. But if it's something like getting her hair and nails done, I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was just showing that my nails were done. And
That woman's wrong.
Okay, the woman in the scenario, she's wrong.
Women that get allowances are second wives and or / trophy wives or wives on prenups. You know, if this is like your first wife, the best wife, the one you true love, and you're sharing everything, no, why does she need a second account? No, that's just evil. And how are you gonna, if I'm gonna lay down in bed with the same person every night, more or less, depending on work or what have you, how are you gonna start a whole side hustle and not even tell me? I mean, that's a breakdown right off the bat. That's a secret. Why are you holding secrets? Why would you not tell me if you got an interest in starting some business? That's crazy. Then if you're not telling me, who are you telling? No. So this is beyond red flag. This is problems. Danger zone. Problems. That's how I feel.
Okay. Raul Duke, Trigger Mike. What are your thoughts?
Go ahead. I'll go. Hell no. Absolutely not. And I'm gonna be serious about this. Secrets beget more secrets. Period. Understand the root of where that comes from. It's funny that it's been around so long that we say it like it's nothing. Your mother, well, everyone's mother. It's an old school thing. This is not new. We've heard plenty of women say it. Mom told me to always keep a secret stash. She accidentally told you to start your marriage off on the wrong foot. Secrets beget more secrets. If she has a secret stash, I get a side chick. No questions asked. Period. You can have a separate stash, but I better have access. You better say, well, I want to keep this as money in this account so we don't look at it. We don't know it's there. We siphon it off so we don't get tempted to use it, but I better have access to it. Men have to stop being so noble. This is what I'm saying. We're noble about things that are detrimental to our relationship. And it's ironic. I want every man and woman in the chat to understand the irony of this. Women advocate for things they are uncomfortable with men doing. They wouldn't be comfortable with it if we asked, right? So let me just make this statement here. There is nothing, not one thing, your wife can hide from you that is beneficial for your relationship. The whole reason, like, let's finish the sentence. Let's finish Mama's sentence. Keep that secret stash in case that ninja ever act up and want to finish the sentence. There's no other reason to have that stash. If you need things or shopping, there's no amount of shopping you can do with the secret stash that won't cut into something else y'all supposed to be spending. Maybe you're driving us or the family into more debt. Maybe that's money that could have went for children's activities, right? Anything like that. I have never found a benefit to this secret stash argument on either side, men or women. Now, let me tell you what I have noticed with this secret stash business. Imagine a man had a secret stash and your wife told you to cut ties with a female friend because she didn't become a family friend. She wasn't interested in maintaining a relationship, but you've known that friend since college. And you're like, you're not cool with my wife, so I don't really talk to you no more. But you know her. Y'all never had a sexual relationship or nothing. That lady says, I'm down and out. I caught the Rona, and I can't pay my rent. I'm 3 months behind on my rent. Can you help me out? And you send that lady $3,000 out of your secret stash, and your wife finds out. What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? That is what women do with their secret stash. They do shit you would not agree with, and you're none the wiser. There's nothing beneficial they can do with it. They're going to do things you don't approve of with that secret stash while still using your own money for other shit in front of your face. Come on, y'all. We got to be better than this. Rein it all in. Everything. They're calling it control. They're calling us controlling. Well, if you don't want me to have authority and dominion over the situation, then I'm not the husband for you, because I want to see it all. I want dominion over it all. It is not control. It is my God-given right. That's all I'm saying. My mic is muted.
I agree with that. And I wanted to add, it's not control, it's transparency. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I must have missed the question. Queen Sheba, I think the link was sent to you. Secret accounts. Oh, yeah, I wasn't speaking about secret accounts. I was just talking about an account in general. I mean, if you got a secret account that you've been stashing, then that's an issue. But if she has her own bank account, and let's just say that you give her allowance and she decides to save it, then I think that's not so much of a big deal. But if you got some type of motive where you got this secret account, then that's when I think it's an issue. So I just want to clarify my point.
Yeah, separate. So remember, I said separate stash is different than secret stash. But I'm telling you, even if I've seen it to where a woman will say, oh, you can have access. That's how they usually sell it to you. Oh, yeah, I'm opening it for us. And then all of a sudden, the information for that account is lost. You never received it. So, separate account. Yeah. In fact, for business related stuff, we got to probably understand that if women have their own accounts before they even get with us, so they're likely going to keep those accounts after, right? But the bulk of what's coming into your house needs to be in a shared account for transparency, as Clout said. That's my thoughts on it anyway.
So I know Raul, I have another question, but I know Raul didn't have a chance to answer this one. You're on mute. You were going in too.
If that bitch is stealing my money, you should kill her.
Oh my God. Raul, you can't kill people and call the police. And, oh my God.
What? The Murdaws did it.
All right. Sugar Mike had very good points. Big Clout had very good points. Lapeef had some good points. but he was doing it the old school style, which is
Come on.
you can't fight the guy that has sound effects.
No, you can't.
The idea is,
Welcome,
like
Queen.
you're dating a girl, you're having a good time, you're whatever. You're gonna have your money, she's gonna have her money. When you decide to get married, a lot of people, I guess, I mean, as far as I am concerned, y'all don't give the proper respect to marriage, which is everything is supposed to be shared. Now it's us against the world. We have declared before the law and God, depending on how religious you are, that we're on the same team now. Now, if you want to start your relationship where I have my money, you have your money, and we have a joint account, very well. It's what you decided, correct? We agree with that. You and I, that's what we're going to do. If you decided we're all going to have the money in one big pot and no one's going to fuck around, that's what you and I decided to do. You have to base this question off of whether or not we discussed this before marriage, which I hope you did. A lot of people are stupid. We know that.
A lot of people do not have this conversation.
They don't have the financial conversation before you get married, which makes no goddamn sense. But if you're an intelligent human being, you've gotten past fucking, 11th grade, you'll have this discussion. If you do, and she's somehow secreting money away all by herself, it's just as guilty as if the man does. And for whatever reason you're doing it, negates trust. The whole point of marriage is trust. If you can't trust the other person, don't fucking get married. I do understand there's reasons why you get married besides trust, which is you're both poor. If you're together, you can make a little more money, you can move ahead. You don't really trust the bastard or the asshole or the bitch, but god damn it, just get me out of this fucking trailer park. I get it, okay? But we're talking about middle class and up. You have the legitimate ability to say no to marriage and still be satisfactory as far as your financial situation exists. You're not doing it just to make yourself better, which, by the way, all of us are very privileged to have that fucking honor to be able to do that. There's a large portion of the American population that gets married just for the financial reasons, just to get out of my fucking bullshit podunk town, yada, yada, yada. We're not going to talk about that. We're talking about perfect situation. Both of y'all have your money. You're complete human beings. You're working together. If she starts lying, that's wrong. The same as if you start lying, it's wrong. The same as if it's two gay dudes and one of them starts lying, it's wrong.
You can't say gay on YouTube.
Homosexual.
Rainbow. No,
What are you talking about? You can't say gay on YouTube?
Rainbow.
I'm trying to get my channel taken down, Raul. Oh my god.
What are you talking
Say
about?
it one more time. Jeez.
I'm sorry. Those of you with the same-sex attraction persuasion, it doesn't matter.
Good job.
I'm really starting to hate you, Lafife.
Oh, that's true.
If you team up together and you lie, creating this contract, you're fucked up. That's it. It's that fucking simple, kids. And that's where I'll stand.
Thank you for that, Raul Duke. So do not, if you, any ladies in the chat or that are hearing this later on, if you marry Raul Duke, do not betray him.
Nope.
Do not betray him.
Nope.
Under
Okay.
threat of violence.
Well, that's, yeah. All right.
Are you going to chime in, Miss Kelly, or not? Mrs. Kelly?
Me?
Mrs. Connection?
Of course I am.
Let's hear it.
So as far as, hold on, let me see if Queen wants to go first, and then I'll. Hi, welcome to the show, Queen Sheba.
Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday
Wednesday.
to you. Did you hear the question, or did you want me to?
I heard the positioning. I thought I heard the questioning, but for somehow I got kicked out. So if you want to repeat it, that's fine.
Okay, so the original question was an icebreaker, and we were talking about you were at work and then you come home and you can't reach your significant other.
Don't do
That then you get a notification that your bank account has been emptied and there are no funds available. How do you handle that situation?
Which account? Because we have
The
more than
account. That's part of the conversation. So the account that both of you have the money in, the account you've been using to save, say there's $100,000 in there and it's empty out.
one. So we don't have one account where we're both contributing like that. We have several accounts where we both have access to. And that's for a number of reasons. And that's why I feel like this argument is a bit one-sided. I feel like it's on, and that's fine, right? Because a lot of times when you think about traditionally in historical context, the man is in favor.
I think you're breaking up. Can you guys hear her?
That she broke up.
Point. I'll give her a moment to come back. Let me know. Maybe you want to go out and come back in, Queen Sheba.
I think it might be it might be some hardware issue. Okay. I doubt it's software. But
well,
yeah, go ahead. Did everybody answer the question?
No, I didn't actually. I did want to chime in because I have heard of having a secret stash. And my mother didn't tell me to do this. My father did. So and yes, yes. But he always, my mother was a stay-at-home mom, and my father, he worked, he paid all the bills. They had 5 children. But because she wasn't working, they had a joint account. It had, multiple accounts, but they were all joint accounts, and they both had access to all the accounts. And he just required for her to let him know before she made a purchase, just to make sure the money was in whatever account they were going to use. And then she had to just bring the receipts so he could keep track of everything and document it. That was it. There was no issues other than that. It was our money thing. But he always told us to make our own money and don't wait on a man to come rescue you from your situation. He was like, we would always say, you don't want to wait for some guy to come rescue you on a horse. He's like, buy your own horse, and when he comes along, you guys can ride off on the sunset together. So that was how he taught us. And I think it's because he saw how women and his family, they ended up being stuck with a man because he was the sole provider and he was doing things like cheat and abuse, and they had no way out because there was no secret stash. There was no money other than the money he controlled. So
that is remnants of a time long past. And I think this is something I didn't have a formed opinion on until, I jumped on YouTube. A lot of dads did that type of stuff to their daughters. Naturally, you love your daughter so much, you don't ever want to see her. As a thinking and feeling person, you don't ever want to see her in that situation. But I have to say, it might have been the wrong advice. God rest your father. And I think in his fear, because it's one thing to know that you're supposed to do something opposite, but I can even see myself. I love my daughter so much that I'm like, well, let me just tell her this one thing, just in case.
I don't know, Trigger Mike.
Not even for the woman that's alive today. Think about it. My wife moved to Houston for me because she puts it better than anybody I've ever heard put it. She's like, I'm a damn professional. I can work anywhere. I'm a licensed professional. She's like, I can be an SLP. She's a speech language pathologist. I could be an SLP in Philly. I could be one in Baltimore. I could be one in Texas. If this don't work out, I'm taking my ass wherever I need to go and practice the way I need to practice, right? She said, I'm a professional. I can work anywhere, right? And that was a remnant of a time where women did not work primarily, or at least enough to support themselves on their own salary. That is not the case now. So I think what I'm going to do, because I'm noticing that a lot of dads, out of fear and love for their daughters, that, the fear that might happen to them, they gave them that advice. But unfortunately, like most things, you give an inch or you teach an inch, they want to know how to acquire them out. Too many women are abusing it and not, now they're not understanding how to be in the cooperation part of the marriage. They want to be a complete individual in a marriage. And of course, we know how that turned out in society in general.
Can I just add to that real quick? Because I agree with what Trigger Mike said. I've definitely heard a lot of women say that they've had this experience with their dads telling them things like that, have a little money. And what I think it is instead of teaching them to like keep money in case the dude that they end up with isn't shit, I feel like the dad should be saying, hey, this is how you pick a man that's not, shit ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like, this is how you choose this quality of a guy. This is the type of man I am, and you shouldn't expect any less than this. So it shouldn't be have money in case the man's abusive with money or whatever case. No, don't pick a man that would be abusive in money with money like that. Evaluate his character long before you decide to commit to him, and then once you've seen that his character has passed the test, then commit to him. On top of that, your dad should kind of be vetting the man anyway, so you should be avoiding that anyway, because your dad should be able to look him up and be like, nah, this is a shyster, or this is somebody who's really going to take care of my daughter, whatever the case is. So I feel like if your dad's playing in that active role as well, I feel like then that advice should be opposite.
So what can you hear me? What should the advice be then? Because I'm one of 4 daughters, and he gave us all that advice. And
do you have brothers?
I have one brother. Yes.
Did the brother get the same advice? Do you know? You might not be aware.
Why would her brother get the same advice?
Yeah,
He's not a woman.
Yeah, my father had separate conversations with him. He would go off and have like the male conversations with him.
So you're not really sure.
I'm not privy to everything he discussed with my brother, but he is very independent. He has multiple businesses. He has his own home. He has rental property. So he is successful in his own right. But so are my sisters. So.
Right. I think it's well-intentioned. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't personally think anything is wrong with being a successful woman as long as you know how to rein that in when you get married. And Queen Sheba, I know that you were speaking on it, but you kind of got cut off.
I don't think anybody has the right to tell anybody what their father should or should not have said. Let's just pause there. That's the beauty of family and connectivity and personalization as it relates to your family and your family values. So I don't think anybody should say, well, your mother should have taught you or your father should have said this. And that's not what I'm saying this panel is saying, but I think we should tread lightly when it comes to family values, right? Because what you view as a man is important. What you would tell your daughter is not necessarily what another man would invoke in his daughter. And that's why we have the saying is, everybody has a way that they inflict leadership in their own home. Because otherwise you're insinuating that another man's leadership should look like your leadership. And that's not the case, because every man possesses his own blueprint, his own fingerprint. And that's the beauty in the uniqueness of that man and his family and how he pours into his wife and his children, right? Otherwise you're stripping that away from him. Let me just pause there. The second thing is I understand where I'm at in the room. And I don't mean you guys. I understand I'm in a manosphere. So I know women are not considered experts when we talk, right? A lot of times we're just on the outside looking in. Most times, sir, on the bottom, Raul, most times, right? When we consider the space. So when it comes to money, sometimes I feel like it can be a one-sided conversation, because in many cases, most women are not prepared to contribute to a relationship financially. Most women, not all. And that's just the fact of the matter, if we look at it like that. So when we're talking about somebody coming home and $100K has been taken from the bank account, we can assume that the woman has done that in most cases and not the man. Because in most cases, historically, the man would have been prepared financially to save that amount traditionally. And if we're thinking about the ideology of the manosphere, the woman would be stay at home, the man would have been working, the man would have been building this trust fund, building this family fund. He comes home, even though you did not label it, Kelly. But if
it was just your spouse.
Right.
I did tell a story where a friend of mine,
manosphere, and I'm just saying,
a friend of mine had that happen with her husband.
But I'm just saying, in most cases, most people would assume. I'm not saying we on this panel, right? Because we're all bright individuals. We're all able to think outside the box, but most people would assign that, oh, she took his money. So we have to consider the audience that's listening in. They're going to assume, even if they're wrong, that a woman did that. Not considering that some women, although not, I'm saying some, listen to what I'm saying. Some of the audience, some of the women, some people would assume that the woman took the money, not all the people, right? And they're going to have a strong argument against that, rightfully so. But in today's day and age, a lot of women do come to the table financially prepared, whether they announce it or not. And I think that's where we come to when we talk about the secrets of financial things, right? And how do you handle that? Most women would not put themselves in, most women that do make that amount of money in today's world would not put themselves in a position that a man could take that from them. Most women that have that kind of money. Hey, whether you like it, I'm keeping it 100% real. You wouldn't even know she had it.
Queen's
Hold on,
right.
let me finish, because I listen to everybody. Most women that are savvy enough to have that kind of money, you wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't even know it. If I'm keeping it 100, you wouldn't even know it. And this is like where I'm really opening up to tell you, I'm not talking about the women that brag with the purses and the labels. I'm saying most women that have it, you wouldn't even know it. She wouldn't even put herself in a position that a man would have access to her account to take it from her. So we can assume that in this scenario, with the example that you gave, a man would come home and the woman would have emptied his account. If we're talking realistically in the odds and statistics, and that's when we talk about historical and traditional, most women are not in that position. And if they do reveal themselves to be in that position, a man would expect to have access to that account, whether or not he gives a woman that access to his account or not. Let me pause because I think Raul had a question.
Go ahead, Raul.
I think she's describing a toxic relationship. I'm curious if you were in a relationship in which you felt that the patriarchy was not bearing down on you, if you would create that sort of situation in which this was necessary.
Okay, so I'm not describing anything. I'm just describing different scenarios. That's not personalized to me. And my challenge to you is to get out of assigning personal experiences to anybody on a panel. A lot of times when we come here, we just talk in general to the audience. So that's my challenge to you, is to not, when a panelist gives you information back, to not say that's their experience. Our job is to think outside the box and to represent the audience outside of ourselves. Because a lot of times we come here with preconceived notions about what we know. You know what you know. I know what I know. But the audience comes here to learn. And the way we stretch ourselves, right, and lend ourselves to the audience to represent everybody that's listening. So I hope that as we continue this conversation, you would not assign what I'm saying specifically to me, because I'm not talking about my personal experiences. I'm talking about what has not been represented on this conversation tonight in favor of the women. That's it. I'm playing devil's advocate.
No,
All right.
Oh, yeah, and I appreciate
Oh,
you.
go ahead, Raul.
Go ahead, Raul.
No, there's nothing wrong with her playing devil's advocate, 100%. However, I'm still going to advocate towards, if you join into a position of marriage, you should be completely honest. I think what Queen is saying is much more towards, I guess, that the woman has been joined into the marriage outside of her consent. And so she had to have a backup plan just in case shit went to hell. I'll be honest with you. I'm not marrying one of you if I have to have a backup plan to where shit goes to hell.
No, that's not what I'm saying. And that's why I keep asking you to not assign what you think to me. What I'm saying is you're forgetting. Hold on, let me finish. So a lot of times when we get on these panels, we talk about the now and we don't talk about the before and the gaps in between, how we came to get married. We completely skip the dating stages. I hear it a lot between both men and women, including myself sometimes. We talk about where we are in success, where we are in a marriage, how successful we are, but we don't talk about how we came to get that way. So what I'm talking about, Raul, is the mindset that a lot of people enter into relationships before they even get into a marriage. I'm filling in the gap. And that's why I'm saying I'm coming in, filling in the gaps about talking points that I feel like none of you hit We hit the
there's no
marriage,
gaps.
but we don't hit the dating. We don't hit the engagement. We don't hit how we transform, how we were stuck, and how we talked through that. And maybe how a pastor came in, and how my mother or how your father came to give us a deeper understanding. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for that on panels. A lot of times we talk about the end result, but not the gap in between the end and the finish line.
I'm a little confused. I thought we were talking about a specific scenario, like a specific scenario of a person's spouse taking $100,000 out of their joint account. So I'm a little confused when we're talking about like,
yeah, but in
when
order
we're
to
talking
get
about,
that,
I'm a little confused when we're talking about whether we're us not going back to dating or going back to all this, because that's not what we're talking about. But we're not talking about an ideology. We're just talking about a scenario and what
a person
what
to take
how
their money,
someone
they entered into that relationship
excuse
with a
me,
certain mindset.
excuse me. We're talking about how someone would react in a certain circumstance. So I don't see how any of that's actually relevant to. I think that's why Raul was a little confused when he asked what was your question, because we're referencing a lot of nuances that have nothing to do with the actual scenario that we're discussing right now.
That's my answer. I'm giving the in between because a lot of people come in with a certain
in between
mindset.
What though? What are you going in between?
In
There's
between,
a specific scenario.
I just said it. Stay curious. I said between dating and getting marriage. Most people come in with a mindset.
But the scenario is about two married people.
Hold on. It doesn't, you don't turn into a husband because the day you say I do, you learn to be a husband. You cultivate into being a husband and a wife, right? But most people, when they enter into a relationship, the challenge is growing out of that selfishness. So what I'm saying is, if you come home and a person has taken your money, it's because they've never transitioned from being in that singlehood, that selfish mind state. So when you say, what does that have to do with her or him taking the money? It has everything to do with it. They never transitioned. You never grew together. They never saw you evolving together. And that's the part I say that we miss on these panels when we talk about evolution and growing. It's not A to Z. It's A, B, C, D. So when you say that has nothing to do with nothing, it does. We just skip the steps on the talking points.
So what Sheba is actually talking about, that was one of my questions. I haven't actually gotten to all the questions. One of them is, at what point in a relationship should funds be accessible to your significant other? Because some people do start sharing within dating. Some people wait until marriage. Some people, once you're engaged. So like, how does that look how should that look in a relationship?
You do not share money until you're married. Fuck.
Yeah.
Why are you
wrong? No, you know what?
It happens, but it happens.
Raul Duke. We actually got to understand right now that is what's traditionally done. Well, these are a bunch of non-traditional freaking people. So most people have children
live together. Yes, and have children.
Yeah, I was about to say most people have. Well, no, if you live together, still keep that shit separate till you're married. But most people are gonna have children out of wedlock. So that's the part where you're like, oh well, you're gonna do it out of order like that. So I will say the idealistic way to do it is to wait until you're married. But if you do have a child together, it is time to merge accounts in the best interest of the family that you've now created accidentally.
So, I will reword my response. Once you've decided to become a committed relationship, how about that?
No. Without children, I don't agree.
Once you have children together, oh shit. That's a big fucking deal.
Hey.
I'll be honest with you. I'm still not sharing my finances with you until we get married. We will share some shit and we'll work together for the kid. But if there's a problem to where if we're this far in the relationship, we've already had a child and we don't want to get married, which I understand. You know, I'm not expecting everyone to have an idealistic Disney fucking Channel relationship. You have a kid together. Are you going to be together now? Both of you will agree to be together and help raise the child together, or you guys are going to agree to raise the child separate. If you agree to raise the child together, go ahead and get fucking married, assholes. And then we'll share accounts. You can have that shared account. I still believe, even if you're married, you should have separate accounts. But you should
I agree.
Talk to each other. You should talk to each other about what's in all the accounts. It should be a fucking team, guys. Once you get married, or you decide to spend the rest of your life with this human being for either 18 years because of the fucking kid, or for the rest of your life because you love each other. I don't give a shit. Once you decide to actually,
Raul, questions. Why do you advocate for separate accounts while married? I do believe that there needs to be a reason behind these things, not just have separate accounts. What is the functional, ideological reason behind having a separate account from your spouse?
Other than you are jumping all my questions. But
I was going to say, other than having your own business that has to be separate.
No,
what are the reasons?
Separate it up. The majority of the marriages in my life that I've experienced have ended up in divorce. Therefore, I think it would be okay, so long as you're honest, to have separate. This is a completely illegal question. Separate accounts in order to, even if you're married, the successful marriages that I know, they have separate accounts. They have a group account for, you know, all the bills and all that bullshit. Or they decide this guy pays for this and this girl pays for that. Or if they're gay, I have a couple of gay friends. This guy pays for this guy pays for that. They separate it out, but they have their own money. But at the end of the day, they're honest about it. I make $4,200 every 2 fucking weeks. You make $3,600 every 2 fucking weeks. We put this much into the shared account. This much you have in your account, do whatever the fuck you want. This much you have in my account, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. That kind of shit. That depends on your marriage. And you will work that out with your spouse, how your income goes. Regardless of how legally it is in different banks and tax credits and all that bullshit, at the end of the day, you're honest with each other. I still know, even though she makes $3,600 a fucking month, that $2,600 of it goes in the group account, and that she's got $1,000 to do whatever the fuck she wants. And that makes our life work. We buy our groceries out of the group account. We pay our fucking mortgage, the fucking internet, all that shit out of the group account. Can she have her own shit on the side of that? Fucking of course. Why not? But we talk about it. Who cares what the bank knows and what the government knows? The important thing is what you and I know. That's what I'm saying as far as what I would consider to be a good marriage, which once again is trust and honesty. Who gives a fuck what the government and the tax guys and the banks know? I don't care. I care what you.
Well, hold on, gentlemen. I wanted to get the ladies in on it too. I'll let you go, Trick Greg, but then after that, I want the ladies to go.
My fault. Please go.
Because I don't think they got a chance to see the scenario.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't want to monopolize. Please, ladies, please join us.
Welcome, Elle and Queen Sheba. Did you ladies have a chance to see or hear the scenario that we're discussing?
Yeah. Yes. So I just want to clarify, because I'm gonna kind of be in and out. I'm pulling the double.
Okay.
So, it's if a married couple has a joint account and one of the spouses pulls $100,000 out of the account.
Yeah, disappears. That was the icebreaker question. That's what Queen Sheba was chiming in on, and that's what we talked about originally. But then we had another scenario on the flip side. So you can chime into either.
I'm gonna be honest. I believe that I'm not a big fan of joint accounts. You should be able to have a joint account. You should be able to trust your spouse. You should be able to, but unfortunately, that's just in these days and times. It's I don't know. You shouldn't marry somebody that you can't have a joint account with. But if you decide to have a joint account, you guys should still have your own separate accounts, because it is very risky. That's a very big risk. Also, I know that someone was saying something about women not being able to, I guess, financially contribute as much to the joint account. Me personally, I believe, I'm not saying that you have to be rich, you don't have to be rich. But if you're not financially stable, you shouldn't even be dating. I don't even understand why you would be in a relationship if you don't have your funds together. If you're financially struggling, I don't see why you would be dating as a woman or man. I personally would never have a joint account. I would, however, if something was to happen, I would make it so to where in the case of an emergency, my spouse would be able to allocate my PIN or some type of information to it. If he has to go into the account, he can. God forbid I get hit by a bus and I'm unconscious. He'll know, okay, go into this little lockbox. She has the PIN there. I can go into her account. So some way, somehow, if something happens, he would have access to it. But it would have to be in an emergency situation. It can't be a situation where you can just go in and out however you want to. You know. But I also wouldn't marry somebody I don't trust.
But so
And
do you
if
believe
I
in
get
having
married,
a
I'm gonna
secret
do it.
stash as a woman?
Woman or man, if woman, I feel like if you are the one going to work and you're the one working for that check, if you want to have money to the side, you can. But I would be honest about that. Like, I wouldn't have money stashed away to where he doesn't know about it. And what he does with his check, if he has a, you know, if he's working, obviously he's getting his money. If he wants to have money put aside, you know, that's fine. Just be honest about it. I would be transparent about it. Like, whether he would have access to my account or not, he would still know that there's an account. And if something was to happen, he would know where to go to get the information for the account in the event that he needs to take something out, whether they are kids or not. Now, I do not believe in having kids out of wedlock, as y'all know. If you didn't know, you know now. I don't believe that you should start. If you do believe in having joint accounts, that's fine. You're married, you can do that. If you don't, that's fine as well. I think it depends on the couple. But either way, the man is the head. That's not even up for debate. But I don't believe that you should be having joint accounts and y'all are not married. Your baby mama should not have access to your account. And whether or not there are kids in the relationship, or whether or not there are kids in the marriage, if you're married, you're married. But I don't think that you should give, the last thing you should do is give your baby mama access to your account. Giving your wife access to your account is risky. Imagine giving your baby mom's access to your account. You do anything to piss her off, she's gonna clean it out. Let's just keep it a buck.
Did you ladies have a chance to read the second scenario? I don't know if you saw it.
I can't see it. I mean, I can see it, but I can't really read it because it's kind of small, but that's okay.
I'll read it. It says, my husband works and I'm a stay-at-home mom. He is the most unselfish person I know. I handle all the finances and he has never said or acted like it was his money in any way. It's our money. Anyway, he is upset with me because he found out I had a bank account he knew nothing about. I've been making money online and keeping it from him. He says that this is his, he said that He said that his problem is not that I have been making money online, but that I keep it from him in the event of a divorce someday. He said that women keeping a stash of hidden money in case of a marriage fail is like a man keeping a side chick in the case of marriage fail. We both need to be all in or nothing. My mom raised me to have a secret stash that my husband doesn't know about. Is this right? Or is my husband right?
So it's wrong.
The husband is right. Yeah, the husband is absolutely right. You shouldn't have any secrets in your marriage at all. She's wrong. If you want to have a secret, if you want to have a stash, that's fine, but it shouldn't be a secret stash because he's not keeping money from you. You know, she's able to use his money because she's a stay-at-home mom. She's able to use his money and do with it whatever she feels is necessary for the family. So for you to go behind his back and do something to him that he's not doing to you, you're dead wrong.
What about you, Queen?
So first of all, it's wrong in all aspects when you read that. Number one, I don't know if that's the real wife, but they don't depict her as a wife. So let's just start there. Just the photo. When we think about optics and just the subliminal messages, that doesn't look like a wife that's staying at home raising children, right? I mean, come on. So automatically that gives pause when we're thinking about how dare you. Number one. Number two, it's completely wrong. Because he's giving you his all and access to his all, and you're staying at home and you have access to every last dime. And then you described him as a great man. Great men marry great women. So he's expecting you to be a great woman by way of character in return, right? So then when he finds out you have a secret account by way of a stay-at-home mom who cannot contribute financially, who cannot contribute socially by the way that she dresses, and I accept you anyway, as you are, even if it means I'm ridiculed by the neighbors, my homeboys, by the way you dress, according to the picture, but I still love you. I still give you access. I still put my neck on the line, and I trust you fully, and you go behind my back. Even if it's $200, it's wrong. right? We're not talking about a man and a woman that both contribute to the household. We're talking about one person that contributes to the household. So my initial response to this conversation were two people that were working equally, going out there and getting it, right? And having an understanding that I got mine, you got yours, but you have access to it. And both of our names are on the accounts. And yeah, I might got a little, in my situation, before I met my husband, I started investing in medicinal marijuana when it was penny stock, and it still is. I have over Lord knows how many thousands of shares. It wouldn't make sense for me to cash it out under the funding that I bought it in just to put his name on it. That would be asinine. My husband would never let me make such a financial disaster move like that. Cash it out just so my name can be on it. But he has access to it. Does that make sense? He's on the account. Why would we start from scratch just so he can prove a point? But in a situation like this, she's completely wrong, period.
Okay. So maybe you ladies didn't have a chance to hear that. That's what the gentlemen were commenting on the second scenario. But I have something else I want to play. Do you have the clip or no?
Are you referring to the audio?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, got it right. Here we go. Everybody listen up. Wait 1 second. It was on mute.
There's no audio.
So I've been married to my wife for 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together for 25 years.
Okay.
She took 17 grand out of my account to give to her brother.
Ooh.
Without letting me know.
Ooh.
Is it a joint account or your account?
It's a joint account.
All right, so she took $17K from our account. Correct. Is what you should say. No,
our account, but she didn't let me know until I found out.
Mm-hmm.
So
has anything like this ever happened before?
Negative. Negative.
Okay, and
never happened before. So I'm a little disappointed, and then it's only when I found out. She didn't tell me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she told me for her brother, and I'm like, 17K? Really? You didn't discuss this beforehand?
So what was her explanation? That why she didn't say anything?
No, she didn't. She just said I gave it to him.
Does she feel like it's wrong? Is he supposed to pay the money back?
I didn't get any of that information, unfortunately.
Okay, I think y'all.
Thank you, JR. So that's two people with a joint account. So my question, you can comment on that particular scenario if you'd like. But I know you guys, a lot of people have chimed in already, but I wanted to know joint account, separate account, which is better, and how should that look within a marriage? Because they're married. They had a joint account. Both had access.
Can I chime in real quick?
Go right ahead.
This is why This is why I'm not a fan of joint accounts. This is exactly why. She should have spoken to her husband about it first. And $17,000 is a lot of money. Now, if they had a joint account and then they had their own separate accounts, and she took that $17,000 out of her own separate account to give to her brother, and that was her money that she worked for, it was not any of her husband's money, then that's fine. But you went and technically stole from your husband to give to your brother, and that's absolutely wrong. This is why I'm not a fan of joint accounts. I don't know why she would do that. And stuff like that can ruin a marriage. So the fact that you had to go behind, she knows she's wrong, and that's why she never told her husband. I don't know why she thought that he wasn't going to notice that $17,000 was missing. But that's my take on it.
Raul Duke, you know you're on mute, right? You're I would say you're going.
Oh, it's good that I'm on mute because I would be interrupting her. But La Original is correct. 100%. You don't fucking take 17 grand out of a group account. God damn it. You take 30, 120, 250. All right, who gives a shit? 17 fucking grand to give my goddamn brother? Stop.
Sorry, but no matter how much you take out of the joint account, you should not take any money out unless you and your spouse have both agreed on it, because it's not your money. It's the both of you guys.
I love you more for saying that right there. She's 100% right. She's 100% right.
Does anyone disagree?
Yeah, disagree with me right now. Me and L'Original will fight you to the fucking death. Disagree. Go ahead.
Give me a moment. Disagreement loading. Disagreement fucking loading.
What'd you say, Trigger Mike?
My disagreement is pending. I'll be back shortly.
I would probably
I'm
say,
dying to hear this.
I don't know if I disagree. I'm just gonna give a different perspective. I don't know if I disagree because I feel like that's a disrespectful amount. Very disrespectful to not have a conversation with the person that you love. It's disrespectful, period. But in that scenario, the only thing I can think of in the context of what the hell were you thinking? She contributed more. That's a scenario where you have a woman that makes way more than he does. He put in his hardworking money. She put in her hardworking money, but because she put in more, she feels like I can do what I want to do. That's the only other scenario I can think of.
Queen, would you be okay?
In that case, would it be
Would
fair?
you be okay if the guy put in a whole lot more and she still took it?
No, I'm just thinking objectively. You know, when you think around like, what the hell were you thinking? You know, you got to think outside the box. That's the only thing I can think of. And some people feel like because I have more money than you, I can do what I want.
Without conversation?
Some people feel like that, Kelly. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in. We see it operate every day by way of corporations, political platforms. You see it, you just see it every day, but we never think it will happen to us, right? That's why I chose you, because I trust you, I love you. And here you are. I'm feeling like if I'm gonna be betrayed by anybody, it ain't gonna be by somebody in my house. And that's why a lot of people get divorced, because what you're not gonna do is get next to me and betray me.
Facts. Okay. So, Trigger Mike, I know is it still loading? I think Barnabas wanted to chime in as well.
Go ahead, Barnabas.
What's her name? Queen. Yeah, Queen. That's an interesting point. I guess you have to consider how bad does $17,000 hurt this couple? You know, are they millionaires? Probably not. So we're just going to go off that it's a significant amount. And the scenario seems crazy. Like, why do you need $17,000? Is he starting a business? Does he have addictions? Is he a gambler? What is the deal? But we're just going to go off.
Would the reason matter? Would it change it? Like, oh, he had cancer and he needed it for a treatment versus he had to pay off a gambling debt.
The reason makes a difference to me.
I mean, if it's life-saving for medical, that should be something you should talk about. That's a good question. But if this person is a habitual
gambler and he had like sharks after
something,
him, like the sharks, the gambling sharks.
I don't roll in that world. I just see that on TV. You know, I don't know where to get money from a bookie and break my legs. I don't know how that works, but no, I don't want to get involved in that
Look at
either.
his eyes. He knows. Trigger Mike
I've never been
knows.
around it. If I've been around it, I didn't realize it. I mean, it's wrong. It's obviously wrong. But yeah, like Queen said, if the woman's putting in a bunch of money, maybe. But again, we're supposed to go off. That's a significant amount. It seems crazy to me. I mean, it's obvious. This is an obvious that's bad. That's a simple question.
Well, I'm gonna pick on this again. I got my same stance, and it's similar to La, which is I'm okay with everybody having their own personal account, and then if you are married, then you have a joint account. Then that way you guys can contribute to the same account. But in the event someone wants to go AWOL, then at least they're not taking everything you have. Mike, you still loading?
No,
I
just,
agree.
I'm sorry. All right, so
you guys can mute up here. There we go.
So saying, I remember that clip. I've had multiple conversations on that clip. Saying that the joint account, having a joint account is to blame for that lady taking $17K is like blaming the stock market because you made a bad trade. One has nothing to do with the other, y'all. Cost benefit analysis, risk analysis, no matter how you do it, if you a separate account will do more damage to your marriage eventually. That lady, that situation is so minimal. It's a one-off. I mean, like literally, you cannot say because one lady took $17K out of a shared account that all married people should not share accounts. That's irresponsible. I'm just going to say it. It is 100%. Imagine what she would do. Now, take that same lady, that same scenario. Somebody that's capable of doing that, what would they do with money they hid from you? They'd start a whole new life, if you ask me. So, we got to be responsible and understand what we're saying. I share an account with my wife, right? We have separate business accounts because we pay people out of those accounts, pay all type of stuff out of those accounts for, 1099 purposes, tax purposes. But other than that, the money is shared. As a matter of fact, when you think about the way things are divvied up, I've heard women say, oh, but what about my nails? You know what? Now that I think of it, nails are a recurring expense and they need to be accounted for in our monthly expenditures. You pay it out of this account. There's nothing that needs to come out of any separate account if we are going to budget and manage money effectively. There's nothing that needs to come out of a separate account. I mean, think about it.
I have a question, Trigger Mike. Then
she's paying some side dude rent. I just want y'all to know that.
Oh my God.
She's paying some side dude's rent. She's
that sounds stressful.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing beneficial for your relationship.
But in that scenario, if your wife would have had 17 grand on the side that you didn't know about, and she gave her brother money out of that, would that bother you?
Didn't I give some sort of scenario for that exact in the beginning? Yes,
No.
It bothers. So understand that when a marriage is a covenant. I've heard you use this word. That's why I started using it. So I got that from you. Marriage is a covenant. If you need to keep that, you gave your brother 17 grand from your husband, you already know it's wrong. Now, the funny thing is that, like I said, women advocate for things they would be uncomfortable with their husband doing. I've seen it in almost every family. A wife is uncomfortable with a husband giving their nest egg or pieces out of their household to other people. Wives are just naturally not okay with that. All right? They're naturally not okay with it. So it's not okay when wives do it for any reason. If he's able to take smooth 17K out of your household, he's coming back for more. He now knows how to get it, and he will look to isolate your husband out of the situation every single time. And by the time he finds out, if it turns out to be 50K, your husband should, well, I'm not gonna say he should leave you, but he should have serious discussions about finances moving forward, because now he can't trust you anymore.
I don't think she gave it to her brother. I think she took it.
That's a mystery too. We thinking alike on that one, Queen Sheba.
Yeah.
Took it and did what with 17
Look, he should go whoop the brother's ass. Watch the brother be like, I don't know what you talk about, bro.
Yeah.
The way he was talking. If you listen to the way,
Women are very detailed. We can tell you when we get to the stoplight and we look to the left and the lady was looking at us, and I told her what you looking at, and now I can't tell you what I did with $17,000 with my brother. That's bullshit. She took that money.
Yep.
That is a different scenario.
I'm kind of curious because I feel like in today's modern time, like I could kind of understand why the importance of a joint account in a time where, there was a time where women couldn't open up bank accounts. So I think that the joint account thing in marriage came from that, because a woman couldn't have a bank account. So by being married, that's how she had access to a bank account, right? But I feel like in this day and age where if you're not providing all of the finances for the house and, you're both working, I don't even really see the necessity to have a joint account. I mean, with the speed of Cash App, with the speed of Zelle, the speed of Venmo, we got online payments, we got all type of ways to send money across the world in a split second. We don't really need a joint account except for whatever expenses we share in common. And it's like, if I'm providing, then we don't share no expenses in common because I'm paying all the bills. And if and we can just easily just delegate who covers what. So if we delegate who covers what, then I don't need to know what your money is, as long as you pay what you're supposed to pay, and you don't need to know what my money is, as long as I pay what I'm supposed to pay. As long as the mortgage is paid, the kids' school bills is paid, or whatever's supposed to get done, the car notes is paid for, then that's cool. So for me, I kind of feel like the joint account thing can kind of complicate things in a way that's necessary. Like when I met you, you had your own money, and I don't really want none of your money problems. So I met you, you had your own money. You met me, I had my own money. Whatever we share, we can split money for what we share, but we don't need to split money for nothing else. Like I'll buy my own clothes, you buy your clothes. If I'm taking you out to dinner, I'll pay. If you're taking me out to dinner, you pay. Simple.
I can see Sugar Mike's got
I meant to say this for Raul Duke. I meant to say this for Raul Duke when he made
And
his.
then after you, I want Chaotic again. After Trigger Mike.
My bad, Chaotic. Hold on, real
No,
quick.
go ahead.
I meant to say this during Raul Duke's last monologue. Okay, we are assuming that people are honest. I don't know what the hell. I keep telling y'all, secrets beget more secrets. People are honest about, and when it comes to finances, let me make a statement here. I'm gonna make a bold statement. Y'all ready? People are honest about what they think is their spouse's business. When you have separate accounts, you get to determine what your spouse's business is and what they have no business knowing. That's when they're honest. I guarantee you they're keeping something from you. I'll bet a year's of my salary on it. They're keeping something from you because you gave them the ability to do so. They are honest about things they think they should be telling you. They determine that, not you. Now,
Can I say something real quick? Oh, sorry.
Just one last thing. I'm sorry. Shared accounts are actually beneficial for the man. Let me tell you, shared accounts are actually beneficial for the man. When we look at the statistics, women own 66% of consumer debt. Let me ask every man on the panel, are you ultimately responsible for what happens to your family financially? You're ultimately responsible. Yes. Yep. So you're going to let the more statistically irresponsible person spend money without your knowledge when you're ultimately responsible for what happens to the family. Let's say you are in a relationship where both of you contribute to the mortgage, whatever, and you lose your job. Google's laying off. Amazon's laying off. And you're like, this woman make $100K a year. We got money saved. Now you lost your job and you need to look in that account. There's no money. There's $3,000, barely less than a month's worth of savings. What do? You're going to be pissed. You need access to all of that. Secrets only beget more secrets. Nothing good could come from it. My mic is muted.
So I came in on the tail end, but I could pretty much get the gist of the conversation. Call me old-fashioned. Oh, what's going on, guys? Oh, and by the way, Barnabas, you're wearing the shirt of terrorism right now. Everybody on that ship was a terrorist, by the way. Give me a second, though.
Not the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, my God. Those guys were jihadists, especially Luke Skywalker. He was the worst. Here goes the thing, man. I'm probably a bit of old-fashioned, but I really believe that men, and this is going to sound really crazy because I'm going to disagree with Trigger Mike, but I think that men should really be the sole breadwinner. And yes, the man's money is the woman's money. I really believe that. I really believe it. I don't know why. I know Raul. Listen, trust me, I know, man. But I really believe that a man should always be transparent with his accounts in a marriage, and that his wife should have access to it. And I disagree with Trigger Mike. I'm not saying I've seen millions of people do this, but I generally have seen women be more frugal and painstakingly careful with money management than men. I know it sounds crazy, Trigger Mike, but I've seen men get $1, spend $1, whereas women generally don't have those types of behaviors.
What?
Statistically, man. Statistically, you can't. I mean, I don't. Statistically, they're the worst spenders, bro.
I get that, but I will have to say I've seen a lot of women, and me personally, I've known women to hold down the accounts in terms of managing even their husband's accounts, because they know that their husband will drink up the money, spend it on stupid toys, et cetera, et cetera. I've seen that, and I've dated a lot of females back in the day who were like accountant majors. I even dated a girl in college who used to manage my money, man, because I would blow it in college. So she would like, just give me your money and I'll manage it. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, so I gotta be a simp today on that one. I've seen a lot, but that's just me though. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I can only get by. This is more personal to me because a lot of women I know have been great money managers. So yeah. I know this is like a curveball to you guys. I know you're not.
I'm surprised. I couldn't tell if you were joking at first. Honestly,
no, I'm being I'm being dead serious. And I also think like a woman should have access to a man's account. Now it's up to you to say, hey, you can't spend 10% of my entire, whatever's in my account, of course, in one go at it, of course. But I don't see nothing wrong with having a woman be in your account. That's just me though.
I would probably say,
Go ahead.
I would probably say get a woman that works or have work, because most women that have had an experience with earning tend to be a little bit more courteous when it comes to your money, as opposed to a woman that you take in and make her a stay-at-home person. She really don't respect the value of a dollar. She never had to, because she's gotten what is it called? Gotten along by way of her looks. But at least have a woman that has some history with work, volunteer, community service, that understands how hard you go out there, if that is your assignment and that's how you run your household. A woman that has a history with money, because she tends to respect the earnest and then labor that you put into bringing home your wages.
I agree with that. And I know Elle wanted to chime in. Are you there, Elle?
She probably, I know she's working too.
I kind of agree a little bit with what Chaotic Truth was saying to an extent, but I want to augment it a little bit. Like, I definitely think that if you're the breadwinner of the situation, yeah, your wife should have access to your account, but I feel like if you're the breadwinner of the situation, it should be treated more like a business, meaning like there should be a holding account and there should be an operations account. And I feel like if you're the one earning that money, you should be in charge of the holdings and, you know, the bulk of it. And then you should distribute a certain amount of your funds for operations, and she managed the operations from that account. And it's as simple as that.
Sorry, my phone was acting up, but I think it depends. It's whatever works for the relationship. If you know, if you want to have a joint account, there's nothing wrong with it. You guys are married. If you don't, there's nothing wrong with that either. I just feel like in the event of an emergency, you should be open and honest about it. I don't believe in having stash money or secret money. And if something happens, your spouse should be able to. There should be some way somehow where they can access the money in the event that something happens and they need to, you know. Or if they don't have access to the money, give them the password to your bank account so they can log in and Zelle themselves the money. So, you know, in case something happens, I don't believe that there should be any secrecy. I don't have an issue with separate bank accounts because it wouldn't be a secret. He would know how much money is in there. It wouldn't be a secret. But I think it just depends.
So La Original, is that how you say
yes.
it?
You prefer
Yes.
L, right?
Either or, that's fine.
Just L?
Either or.
What I'm saying is, ultimately, you cannot trust people. You can't trust people. You shouldn't trust yourself. In fact, one of the things that I do are accountability measures for myself. One of the reasons I'm so damn fat right now, right, is because I've lost accountability measures for working out. I haven't put myself in nobody's gym to keep me accountable. Like I used to love group exercise when I was in the military. That's why I was in great shape. I told myself, take myself out of group exercise, which was my accountability measure. Now I don't exercise. What I'm saying is I give accountability measures to myself to make sure I'm on the straight and narrow. One of the ways you do that is transparency. In any business, the way people start messing up, the way Bernie Madoff started doing what he was doing is that he made sure he clouded the transparency of his books. He wanted to put out a facade, make everybody think, or hide out in the open, only because he had the ability to do so. Right? He would be able to sweet talk people and say, "Oh, nothing's the matter here. Don't worry," and they believed him. If you enforce accountability measures, it's ultimately better for your relationship and or marriage. Let me use that example I just used a moment ago. All of these men getting laid off from Google, Amazon, where else? Tens of thousands of people at this point. Let's say they're wives. Most men that are high earners also marry women that are high earners. Now, all of their financial burden for, these people live lavish lifestyles. In fact, the average six-figure earner is still living paycheck to paycheck. That's been proven. Now the wife has the financial burden. Fellas, how many of those women think a woman is willing to hold the house down for at least, it takes 1 month for every $10,000 in salary you hope to earn. So let's say somebody earned $200,000. Is a wife willing to hold the fort down for 20 months without leaving them? What do y'all think?
Yes.
Hell no. Most women are going to cut and run.
He's right. I'm sorry to cut you off. Most women will cut and run. I would not, because I would honor my vows, but most women will not stay. They won't. But those women didn't get married for the right reason to begin with.
Oh my God! But you're supposed to have that amount of money saved up.
Exactly. Well, what I'm saying is, when you have transparency in your in depth, it's an accountability measure for both of you. She knows that if you get to see her money, she's not just going to be buying stuff willy-nilly because you're looking at stuff in your house. Think about it. When you buy stuff, even when it's your money, I'm telling you this, and I'm gonna tell on myself. My mom did this, what I thought was very bad of her. Well, y'all moms probably did this too. She would go to TJ Maxx and all this stuff and buy curtains, and you would hear my dad saying, "What the hell we need all this stuff for?" So she'd wait till he leave and told me to go get out the car. Did y'all moms do that?
No.
My mom did that.
My dad asked for receipts. He wanted receipts. He's like, what account did you use? What did you spend it in? I would need the receipt. And she'd be like, let me find the receipt. But
guys,
no.
we are beating the same dead horse constantly. The only issue here is trust. Do you trust your woman or not?
No. Without those accountability measures. Yo, man, let me tell you something. People should not trust themselves.
I'm sorry. If you can't, if you can't trust yourself, why would your spouse trust you? I would never want to be with a man that can't trust himself.
But this is what I'm saying. The accountability measures that you put in place. Remember, somebody, I think a few people have said it now, where everybody says, do your own thing, whatever works for you. That's not correct. That is not correct. That is what, unfortunately, I have to say, that is what women do. And that's why marriage is failing. Women promote fluidity in all things, which is just do what works for you, whatever is great. When men had control of this society, when men had control of marriage, it was black and white. That's why marriage worked. This is the way we're doing it. This is the way it has worked. Have y'all not understood by now? Traditional does not mean wrong. It does not mean old. It does not even mean antiquated. It means standard. For some things, standards should never change. And having transparency in your marriage in all things should never change. I'm just saying.
But if two people have their own accounts and they're not lying about it, they're being honest with each other about it, and one has access to the other. Like, say, if I was married and I have my own account, he has his own account. I have access to his account. He has access to mine. We don't go in each other's accounts without permission. That's transparency. I'm not keeping anything from him. And not to cut you, but also, the thing is, when you get married, your marriage comes first. A lot of men, y'all are picking the wrong women. Your marriage comes first. Not your career. Now, how much? So for instance, right? I make low six figures. But if I'm not looking, but if I was interested in being in a relationship, I would only require that he make $50,000 before taxes. I'm not even including. And once the taxes is gone, he probably going to only make 30, right? Because I know that most people don't make that much. It would be unrealistic of me to expect for a man to make six figures. That's not really logical. But also, I don't date men with kids. So if he has no children and he budgets correctly, he should be able to survive off of that. I'm very picky with my money. I tell you straight up, I buy knockoff Chanel bags and Gucci bags from Jamaica Avenue in Queens.
Get out of here! Stop that.
I
love Jamaica Avenue.
I buy knockoff bags. All my Yeezys are knockoffs, and you can't tell. I buy good replicas. You cannot tell the difference. When it comes to money, I'm a penny pincher, and I have been able. Once I paid off my car and my student loan, I was able to save. I started saving January of 2021. I've been able to put away a good chunk of money. So for me, I'm not one of those women that just buys a whole bunch of BS. Me, I budget, and I like to live well below my means. But I understand that everybody isn't like that. So with me, I'm a transparent person by nature. So I would never get into a marriage and hide anything from him. But I can only speak for myself. So you're not technically wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please get off this shit? You either trust your spouse and you guys work with your finances however you want, or you don't trust your spouse.
No, I would trust my spouse. I wouldn't get married if I didn't trust him. I wouldn't even date the person if I don't trust him.
And you'll do your finances however the fuck you want. Share them, don't share them, whatever. The idea is you trust them, right?
Yeah. That's the general.
Fuck the rest of this shit. Please get off this question. You either trust your spouse or you don't goddamn trust your spouse.
That's
big fucking
Rod Duke, do you know the divorce rate currently in the United States of America?
60% includes people
that should tell you that nobody fucking trusts their spouse, bro.
No, that should tell you that people pick the wrong person, and most people are not marriage material.
Okay,
Like,
but
that
most
shit
people
goes
are
back.
not capable of trusting their spouse. Is that
Most people are not marriage material. Most people can't. Once again, if you
I
can't
agree
trust
with that
yourself,
too.
why would
I agree.
well, you can't trust? If you, I trust me. And I've made pretty decent. I've made my mistakes, but I've made pretty great choices for myself because I know people who made the exact opposite. So I trust me. So this is why if I get with somebody, they have nothing to worry about. If I can't trust myself, there's no reason for me to get into a relationship with somebody because then why would you trust me if I can't trust myself? Most people aren't marriage material, and a lot of people, if they are marriage material, they pick the wrong person. They pick someone who's not.
Yes.
And
I want
if
to
you pick the
piggyback
wrong
off.
person, the wrong person will never be the right person.
That's
It is what
fact.
it is.
God.
I agree with her, and I wanted to play devil's advocate a little bit real quick on something Trigger Mike said, where you were saying essentially having the joint account keeps you accountable and things like that. But I want to play devil's advocate and say if a husband requires his wife to keep him accountable, then is he really in the leadership position?
Nope.
Absolutely. So this is one of the things we got to stop doing. As a married man, let me tell you something. Who are the number one gamblers when somebody has a gambling problem?
The men.
Men are susceptible. Like it is the arrogance of men to say that we must be perfect before we make a step or be husbands. We can actually develop these habits in marriage. I know somebody who has a gambling problem, and his father-in-law was the one that started him on it. So,
but would you say that a man with a gambling problem is a good leader?
He can be a bad leader. What I'm basically saying is, if you're already a leader of a family, you can put in accountability measures for yourself. One of the ways you keep yourself accountable is to put in accountability measures for yourself. In fact, that's what responsible men do. I gave the example of the gym for that exact reason. I took away an accountability measure, therefore I started gaining mad weight. It's that simple.
But shouldn't a man be husband material prior to getting married? Like no one's perfect, but he should have those characteristics. Like if he has a gambling problem, he should probably not.
Exactly.
No, don't do it.
If he has a gambling problem, he should keep that in check on his own time. He shouldn't require his wife to hold his gambling problem accountable.
He shouldn't even get married.
He should be able to recognize, hey, I have a gambling problem. I'm going to get therapy and do what I need to do so that this doesn't affect my wife. I feel like the moment his wife has to hold him accountable, she's now in the leadership role of the relationship. She's holding you accountable when you're supposed to be holding her accountable as the leader.
No,
I don't think that a woman holding her spouse accountable makes her the leader.
It doesn't make her the leader, bro. How many times have we seen in the old days where the husband wanted to eat fried chicken and she's like, no, you're gout.
Exactly, but those are those simp ass dudes from the sitcoms.
Make her the leader of the family. Come on, Clout.
But I'm saying those are the simp dudes from the sitcoms. We're talking about that. Oh, I can't eat that because my wife said I can't eat it. I gotta watch my salt. I'm just saying a grown man. What I'm saying
that's not a man. That's not a man being a simp.
I'm saying a grown man should be able to watch his own salt. A grown man should know he got diabetes and know not to eat sugar.
But remember,
men like to indulge.
Hold on.
No. That's what I'm disagreeing with. I'm disagreeing that men like to indulge. I'm disagreeing with that notion. I'm saying that a disciplined man doesn't like to indulge. So if he needs his woman to hold him accountable and keep him disciplined, is he truly disciplined? No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I've seen great leaders whose wife they make them a separate meal because, like, honey, you can't eat that, so they'll make their meal without salt because they know he'll try to go for it. Like,
but is that based off of his instruction, or is that just her like, oh, he can't, he don't know what to eat, so let me fix this plate for him because he gonna eat something wrong? Or is it like, nah, babe? Is it like, nah, babe? I'm eating this. Fix my plate this way because I'm.
She cares about his health. She cares about his life.
Hold on.
Remember the doctor said.
Because I'm gonna have to go extreme with it. Clout. When a man cheats on his wife, does that automatically make him a bad father to his children?
Yes.
You said
No, it
what?
doesn't make him a bad father. I would say it makes him a
Well,
bad husband.
this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So
I would say it makes him a bad husband, not a bad father.
That's what I'm saying. But don't women threaten to take your kids away and leave because a man cheated? Don't they do that all the time? So when we advocate for the perfection of men, that is a man overindulging in sex. That is a man overindulging in bad habits and lust and all of that stuff. But he still picks his kids up from school every day. He helps them with their homework. He does all of these things. That means he needs to fix a problem in one area of his life. It does not mean because he cheated on his wife that he's no longer the leader of the family. He is being undisciplined and failed in one area of his marriage that he needs to now repair. That does not make him lose his spot. In fact, what you call that, not necessarily the cheating example, but that's marriage. We're going to fail. In fact,
when your fucking spouse, you're done.
I'm not talking about losing his spot, though.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. I wanted to hear what Raul said. I couldn't hear him real quick. What'd you say?
I said you cheat on your spouse, you're fucking done. The marriage is
I
over.
agree. Yeah, I agree. But go ahead. Go ahead, Trigger.
That's the whole goddamn point. If you can't keep your dick or pussy where it should be, shut up, man. I'm gonna fucking curse. If you can't keep it where it's supposed to be, you don't get to be part of the goddamn contract.
It was a damn example. You gaslighting like the ladies now, Raul. Hold on. So to what La Original said, that was actually, I think we glanced over it without acknowledging the impact of what she said. She said, shouldn't a husband be a husband before he gets married? That's actually an illusion. You should have
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Restate what you said. Restate what you said.
The characteristics. He should have the characteristics of being a husband prior. That's the characteristics.
I was going to say, a husband is never a husband. You cannot be a husband before you get married. That's why you get the title once you get married. You must have certain characteristics that project that you will do this job well in the future. And what you will learn, the same as husband and wife, is that it is a trial and error job in which you must fail over and over and over. You keep getting knocked down, you keep getting back up, and you are willing to repair your relationship over and over and over, because that's how many times you will possibly fuck it up. That is how you become a husband and or wife.
I don't think you should
I have to
fail
disagree with that.
into somebody's vagina, though. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
No, oh my God, I'm never using that example again. That was an example.
Fail, like you're done.
That was an example. I knew I shouldn't have used it.
No, but I do know that there are spouses who forgive after infidelity, and that's
can I say something? Can I say one thing?
No.
If you choose to work out infidelity, that's on you. But you can forgive somebody, and I don't believe in divorce. Separation is allowed, but I don't believe in divorce. But like, for instance, if someone, let's get off for cheating, right? Say for instance, if I'm with somebody and they lied to me, I can forgive them, but just because I forgave you, that doesn't mean I have to stay with you.
So this is not
forgive you.
Cheating.
Okay.
I'm not speaking about cheating anymore, because that's
I wanted to clarify. I just wanted to clarify and say that, because I wanted to address what you said about like perfection in men, and I'm not trying to advocate for perfection in men. What I'm really talking about here is like this idea that if he's supposed to be the leader and he's supposed to be the person who's disciplined and he's supposed to be the one who's supposed to like in charge, then if your wife is holding you accountable, then you're not really in the leadership position. I'm saying that when he stumbles, he should be the one who's responsible for holding himself accountable, not his wife. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that like, because, well, I don't know. I just feel as though if you're the leader and your wife's holding you accountable and you're not holding yourself accountable, then you're not leading anything.
But when you're married, y'all can both hold each other accountable.
Hold on.
That doesn't negate the title of the husband.
Let's switch the titles, because I think we're using it wrong. Clout. A woman can actually hold you accountable. That's actually what partners are for, holding each other accountable. When someone holds your legs to do sit-ups, they're literally that's an accountability measure, a reciprocating accountability measure. What I think you're saying, and I don't mean to condescend, I'm saying what I think you're saying is that a wife can't hold you responsible. She can absolutely hold you accountable. She can absolutely do it. That's what I meant when I said she gives you the baked fish instead of the fried chicken. She's holding you accountable to something the doctor said you must do, even though you want to indulge and you've been in this house smelling that fried chicken. You are ultimately responsible if you say fuck that, give me the fried chicken anyway.
I like that. I definitely like that distinction. No, I definitely think that was a great clarification between accountable and responsible. I think that was excellent. Thank you.
But I think that's where we're kind of, because anybody else can hold you accountable. Yeah.
No.
I agree with that entirely.
You put the icing on it. That clarified it for me perfectly. You're right. It's definitely responsible is the word I'm looking for. That's right.
Yeah, she can't be responsible for you. You got to be responsible.
Yes.
But she can.
She could be like, give me that donut. I'm not eating this fish.
Why?
Why? You're so nasty. I don't even want to. You know what? So I know that I don't know if anyone had any closing thoughts or comments, but I usually go like 2 hours. I know some panels go 4 and 5, but that's not me.
We going 4 or 5?
No, we're not.
Some go 6.
No, because people have lives, and I know a lot of people already do other panels. So I wanted to thank you and tell you I appreciate your time and for you joining in tonight. Did anyone have any closing thoughts before we end?
Yeah, my recommendation is still the same. Have a joint account, and y'all have y'all personal accounts. Work it that way.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I feel like it just depends on the couple and what they're comfortable with. But I just feel like whatever that couple decides, they need to be honest about it. I just feel like you shouldn't be lying. If you have to lie, then that right there means that you're doing something wrong. And shout out to y'all when y'all get married.
When are we getting married? When do I get my joint account and my allowance?
God damn. You know what? In the show right now. In the show right now.
I just want to say whether your account is joined or not, follow me at Big Clout Jones on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I also make music, so check me out on Spotify. You dig, Clout Jones.
Do you rap? You got something for us?
I sing. I sing.
No, they want a hot 16 every time you come on.
I mean, here, let's do it.
Hold on. Last time you rapped, so now you sing too?
No, I sing. Y'all go hear it on my single. I got to drink some water and get ready for the singing right now. But y'all can hear my single. My single's called Unavailable. It's available on all platforms right now.
It's unavailable.
My
but it's
joint
available.
count is unavailable.
Unavailable, but it is available.
No, I know.
The PIN number is unavailable.
Let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying?
All right, definitely. Anybody else want to shout out their platforms?
Yeah, go to Barnabas Jams YouTube. Check it out. Have fun in there.
Wait a minute. You do music? He sings. You guys should collab.
We're gonna do a collab. Yeah, we're gonna give you a theme song, Kelly.
Oh, I would love that.
It's in the works.
Wait, no, I would love
Let's
that.
do it.
What
I
would
got
you
a
call
dancehall
it?
song coming out too. It's on my Instagram page. I can preview it.
Oh boy.
Okay. What would you call my single? Or what would you call my theme song? Like, how would it go?
The Connection.
You can only use the good notes.
The Connection. That's what I'd call the theme song.
Okay. I would love to hear it. You don't get an invitation back to the show until my song is ready. That was a joke. But thank you so much for coming
on.
on.
Make the beat and we gonna make it happen.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
I can sing a little bit.
This is nice.
You want to sing? Sing Flowers.
I can buy myself flowers. No, we're ending now. So thank you so much.
Come on, write your name in the sand.
No, we're done. And Elle, when I'm in New York, I'm gonna come hang out with you, and we have to go.
Girl, yeah, we're gonna go get some knockoff bags.
Definitely.
No, hold on. Let me say something on the topic. Just, and I think I said it before. Let me say it again. Just so you know, for people who haven't been married and divorced, when you get divorced, it doesn't matter how many accounts you have. They're gonna find out, and they're gonna split it.
They get half anyway.
And you get half. And
keep your money in cash in the
Barnabas,
and
that's the whole. That's the boom on the yo.
That's why you should have.
And then, hold on. I gotta say this.
If you share one account, at least, and CT brought this up, which was an interesting thing. Who is more stable financially? And Trigger Mike said it's men. You know, I've seen it go both ways, honestly. So I don't know overall.
I didn't say.
No, you said that. Well, let me rephrase
Usually
it. You said women have more consumer debt on credit cards or something of that nature.
Oh, stable. Yeah, I just meant women have worse spending habits. That's what I'm.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it.
Well, they do.
So if you're going to get married, and one person is always more thrifty than the other, I think. So the thrifty person you should really just get one account, because you got to keep an eye on the bad one, because they're going to spend too much money. And if you have separate accounts, the one who spent all the money in the divorce, you're like the squirrel that saved all the nuts. You got to go help the grasshopper or whatever when the winter comes. They still spent more money, and you still got to pay more. And you didn't get to buy all the junk you wanted to buy, all your little hobbies.
Exactly.
Can you keep your money? Can you keep your money in cash so that it's not in a bank account?
Where are you gonna put it?
Put it in the mattress.
You get married. That's
I
put
don't
it in the
know.
go bag.
90s.
Put it in the go bag with a pistol too.
Let me make
Put it in the mattress.
At that point.
Let me add real quick to what Barnabas is saying. So Barnabas,
Gold coin.
Barnabas, let me ask
What
you
about
if
a
you
prenup?
think, let me ask you if you think this happens. So I think that this happens so often where people are getting divorced, and you find out, and you do that part where you find out how many accounts and what's to be split. And the reason people don't reconcile is because they realize that person was hiding shit the whole marriage. Do you think that happened?
No.
I think it happens a lot.
Of course it does.
I don't know. I mean, probably. It's a big world. Lots of things happen. I don't
big
think this is like a major thing happening. If you're already going down the divorce lane, just get divorced. Because I've seen people get married to the same person twice and then still get divorced. It's like, oh, it's so
I've
embarrassing.
seen them get married 3 and 4 times to the same person.
50, that's uncommon.
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
50% of people say they wish they wouldn't have divorced their first spouse. So that's why I'm saying
I
you
know
want to
some
reconcile.
people that feel that way.
Yeah, so
No, he made up that statistic.
Some people
no.
do.
But depending on region, it's as low as 30 and as high as 64%. So it averages out to be about like 50% of people regret their first, if they've been married 2 or more times, say they shouldn't have left their first spouse. By the time it was all over, they were like, all right, I'm joking. The other person was like, fuck you.
That's a big fucking statement. I'll just give it to you and accept it. And if so, that means you're right.
That's because they think the grass is greener, and they go and they see it's just the same color or brown.
It's not even that the grass is greener.
Up close is brown.
They threaten divorce. That's why people say people who are smart and get married say never talk about divorce. What really happens? Let me tell you something. This is why women leave relationships and they're the ones that file. Women threaten divorce. So if a woman is gonna threaten a man with divorce, you just threaten him with a good freaking time. You're gonna put me back on the market with more resources than I've ever had in my life.
Stop.
I'm going
Stop.
nuts.
No, you're insane. You're insane.
I'm going
You've never
nuts.
been divorced. You don't
No,
know what you're
it's
talking
not.
about.
I mean, to be
Being divorced,
honest,
unpleasant.
once you get divorced,
you're fantasizing about getting back in the market, Trigger Mike. You're bad.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest.
The market ain't that great, bro.
Some people, yeah,
No.
it's there's nothing out here really, and some people don't want to date someone who's already been married and divorced. I won't date. I've never been married, so I'm not gonna date a man who's ever been married.
Let me just say it this way. Let me say it this way. What I'm saying is going from having sex with one person to going back into the pool of debauchery where all the women are smashing.
Yeah.
You threaten the man with a good time. He's gonna be like, all right, fuck it, let's do it.
Good time in life.
Hold up.
It don't matter. I know the dating. Wait, I know the
if he
dating
thinks
market
that's
is
a good
trash,
time.
but is the smashing market trash? They all smashing, bro.
And they're getting diseases. Ew.
Yeah. I mean,
go get the dirty vagina.
Yeah. If that man thinks that's a good time, that's not a man that I would want to be with. To be honest.
Yes. If everybody's smashing and sucking and fucking and thotting and bopping, why would you want to go out there and just dip into the dirty pool? Nobody
I never thought I'd hear that with your voice.
It's a cesspool.
It's disgusting.
It's their side of the movie.
Wait, hold on.
Married people ain't safe neither.
Hold on,
Married
y'all.
people ain't safe either.
This is rich because how can ladies call it a cesspool when only a quarter of the men or less are even having sex with all these women?
I'm not talking. No.
They know women.
Let me clarify. When I say
that's how they know it's a cesspool.
I'm not speaking about the men.
Right,
I'm not speaking about the men. You said that these women are out here thotting and bopping, right?
I didn't say that.
Oh, you said that.
I said it.
Yeah, that's what you said. Women are
I
out.
don't even
Who?
sound like Kelly. Damn, that's
No. You said something about going back on the market where women are giving it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cesspool.
Giving it to everybody.
Nobody has more. Yeah, nobody has more. That's why I said it was a cesspool. I'm not implying that. I wasn't speaking about solely men. I already know the statistics about men not getting it. And single men ain't getting it. Married men ain't getting it neither, because a lot of men are in sexless marriages.
Well, you got to understand too
That's
that
a whole nother topic.
it's a lot easier for a man. So
next week.
basically,
Alf.
one of the guys on my show basically said that his wife threatened divorce and he kicked her the freak out of the house. And he said the next woman is coming to replace you. Now, I can tell you right now that 3 of my ex-girlfriends within 1 month, I can have them moved into my house and they'd be willing to marry me. Well, that's how hard up women are for a good man.
Well, those are desperate women.
And no those aren't desperate women. They're just women.
You should. No.
Who is more rare, a good man or a good woman? What is more rare?
Both
these days.
Both.
A good man.
No, you know it's.
Oh,
men.
no.
You know
Most women. I'm gonna be honest. Most women are trash. But I would say both, because let's be very clear. How many men are faithful? Most women cheat. Most men cheat.
Okay.
To
All
me,
right,
if you're not faithful, you're not a good. Let me finish. To me, if you're not faithful, you're not a good person.
Okay, that is a woman thing to say. What do women want from men? What do they want from men?
You got. I'm a different breed, so I can't speak for the rest of these hoes. Sorry, not sorry.
I know.
Honesty and trust.
He's the unicorn. The only
No,
unicorn.
you don't care about that. You don't care.
Yes, I do, and I
monogamy.
Y'all don't care about that.
Honesty and trust and loyalty.
Look, if you got a man with some money, another woman want to sit on his face. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
And she
you know
can.
what comes with
Honesty.
You know what comes with that type of man. Y'all better stop.
Can I just ask a question?
But you're asking us. We're not whores.
What the fuck? How did you get that from what I said?
Listen,
not all the women out there that are having sex.
Most women will call a man that makes $50K broke. I don't think he broke. I don't look at men as ATMs. So when I look at a man, or I think about what I want in a man, financial stability is one of those things, but it's not at the top. I can tell you that for a fact.
Right.
I want to make sure that he's God fearing. If a man doesn't, I don't care how much money a man has. If a man doesn't have God, he's piss poor. But most women don't think like that.
That part. Lapeef, can I ask a question to one of the panelists? What do I say is the most important thing about a man?
He don't really want to answer this.
Yes, he does.
Come on, Beard. Come on, Beard.
What do I say is the most important thing?
I should have calmed down a long time ago. I should have calmed down.
His relationship with God.
Amen. Thank you.
You ain't getting to heaven faster saying that, just so you know. But
no, that's the most important.
What, you got to go to church every Sunday?
True.
How does that work?
It's true.
No.
Going to church doesn't. I know people that go to church and have no relationship with God. They just go out of habit or they go out of routine.
That's cap.
Wait a minute.
What?
No, because at the end of the day, you having a relationship with God.
Most important is your relationship with God. What's
Absolutely.
most important.
We're talking about us. We're not talking
you.
about all women. We're only talking about us two. I can't speak for the rest of them. I can only speak for myself.
Well,
How do you show that you have
Listen, if y'all found the God-fearing dude that you're not attracted to, you are not.
No. Listen, hold on, wait. Let me say this. First and foremost, he has to be God-fearing. I didn't say God-fearing and God-fearing alone.
Then that's not first.
I said that. Let me finish. That's the first criteria. I didn't say God-fearing alone, but he must be God-fearing. If he's drop dead gorgeous, right? If he's drop dead gorgeous, but he ate this, no, thank you.
Look,
you and your six pack.
So if he's God-fearing and he ugly, but he kind of believe in God, but he look handsome as hell, you telling me you picking the God-fearing ugly nigga
I'm not
over the handsome as hell, kind of go to church sometimes, dude. Cap.
I'm not. Listen, I don't want somebody who's wishy-washy. Either you're God-fearing or you're not. You saying sometimes. I don't want no sometimes type of man. If he doesn't
go to church every Sunday?
Let me finish. If I was on the dating market and I was looking to be with somebody, I would only want 5 things. Number 1, he has to be God-fearing. Number 2, I must find him physically and sexually attractive. I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like, oh, he loved Jesus, but he looked like a roach. It's not happening. Number 3, he has to be Let me finish. Number 3, he has to be financially stable. Number 4, he must be childless and never married. And number 5, he has to have a sense of humor. Because I have a big sense of humor. I like to crack jokes and make people laugh. Those 5, he must have all 5, not 4, not 3, not 2. He must have all 5. So if he's God-fearing, right, but he looked like Bismarck, I'm gonna have to pass in Jesus' name.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
I'm being honest.
So you go to church every Sunday?
I don't go every Sunday. If I have to work, then I'm not going to be able to go. If I have time to run by and
so
drop
you
my
put
tithe,
money over God? Is that God-fearing?
How do I put money over God? The Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat.
You said if you have to work. You say you have to work. It says not to work on the Sabbath.
The Bible, let me finish. The Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. If I can't attend church because I have to work, then I have to work. Because
But the
it's
Bible
also
also
a sin.
says
Let
not
me
to
finish.
keep
Let
the
me
Sabbath
finish.
day
Let me
holy.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. It is a sin to be lazy. Also, they don't only have church on Sundays. And for any
No.
church service,
I'm not saying that they're saying that church is only on Sundays. I'm just saying, like, if I'm just going to challenge what you're saying a little bit, the
but you
Bible
can't
says,
challenge me
remember the
because
Sabbath day and keep it holy. So
yeah.
if you working on the Sabbath day, that's not keeping it holy. So if you're saying,
Well,
and the Bible also
let
says,
me
the Bible
correct you.
also
Let me
says,
correct you. Let me correct you. Let me
I
correct
let
you
you
because
talk,
even though you are supposed to keep the
excuse
Sabbath
me,
day
I
holy,
let you
if
talk,
you don't work, you
excuse
don't.
me.
Go ahead.
The
I'm gonna let you
Bible
talk.
also
Can you
says
guys
you
go one
can't.
at a time so
The
we can hear?
Bible also says you can't serve God and mammon and you cannot have two masters, for you'll love one and despise the other. Mammon represents money. So based off your
I know I'm
argument,
not
how can
slow.
you expect? So I'm just saying. So you're making this God-fearing claim, but it just
So
doesn't
I'm
seem
gonna.
realistic. It seems
No,
like
I'm
Hold
really
on.
attractiveness
gonna
is top
clarify.
tier.
No. It does fit. It does fit. But you, right? You are making assumptions. When I go to work, I don't. When I go to work, I don't automatically cut God off. Going to work and working because we all have bills. That's not choosing to serve two masters. I don't know where you got that from. I don't see
That's not
how
what the
going to
Bible
work.
says. The
Let
Bible
me
says
finish. Let me.
you cannot
You
serve
have
God
no
and
clue what
mammon.
the
Mammon is
Bible.
money.
So okay, I'm gonna
Oh my
clarify
God,
because
he
I'm gonna
has no clue
clarify.
what he's talking about. So please clarify,
Exactly.
because I'm getting annoyed.
I'm gonna clarify you using the scripture.
Why are you
You
frustrated? I'm just
see,
talking here.
I'm gonna clarify. Going to church every Sunday does not make you a Christian. If you can't make it every Sunday, that doesn't ruin your relationship with God. He cares more about you rightly relating with him on a daily basis, not going, yes, you're supposed to fellowship with fellow Christians. You're supposed to commune with them, but it doesn't, I missed a Sunday. That doesn't negate your relationship. He cares more about your personal relationship with him. That's most important. So missing a Sunday doesn't discount you from heaven. Oh no, now I'm going to hell. That's not how it works. And it says you can't serve God and mammon. Making money and having a job isn't serving money as a master. That's just, you have to make money to survive in this life, unfortunately, unless you are I think homeless, but they still get money in some way because they have to eat, right? But serving the master is choosing money over God. You're choosing that is more important to you than God. So if you had to decide between God and money, you're choosing the money. And that's what serving it. You're making it, you're putting it above God. So because you have to work, because you have to feed your
what I'm
family,
saying is
not choosing money over God. It's the reality of life, unfortunately.
no, I'm not saying it has nothing to do with like getting out of heaven, but I'm saying technically, right? If there's a Sabbath day that's commanded to be kept holy, technically, and you're choosing to work on said Sabbath day for money, then technically you are choosing to serve money instead of serve God on God's day. So I get what you're saying. Like, I'm not saying that's going to ruin your relationship with God and God's going to hate you and damn you to hell. I'm just saying that that's not being honest. That's being disingenuous. In reality, if you're going to claim this God-fearingness, then you got to hold that all the way, be that way all the way. Because how
There's
are
a
you going to,
scripture that
so
proves you wrong, but
how
I
are you,
can't think of it.
how are you going to judge him? But that's what I'm saying. You can't even tell me the scripture, but you talking about God-fearing when the
There's no
reality
way.
is.
First of all, there's no way that I'm going to
Okay.
be able to remember every single script. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to remember the Bible frontwards and backwards. I
But
will
then how are
find the
you even
scripture,
going to
and
test if a
I'll
man is
sign it.
God-fearing? If you don't know it,
No,
how are you going to test if he's God-fearing if you don't
I
even
don't
know
know
it?
it off the top of my head. I don't know which book it's in off the top of my head.
I will
And this
say
is why I
that
think a lot of times
You're
when
not
women say
making
this
no
God-fearing
sense.
stuff, I think when a lot of times when women say this God-fearing stuff is lip service. What's really most
That's fine.
important
You
to
can
y'all
think
is
that it's lip service.
hold on. What's really most important is whether or not he's attractive. And if he presents himself as
I never.
God-fearing,
Oh my God.
that's attractive. When
I
he
want to get on
presents
that.
himself as a God-fearing man, that's definitely attractive to women, especially if he's involved in a religious way that makes him seem somehow more mature and more attractive. And that's really what it is. It has nothing to do with him
But how are
actually
you
being
speaking for
God-fearing.
women? How long have you had a vagina?
I didn't say
Let me
nothing
get on
about
that.
vaginas.
Hold
What are
on.
you
You
talking
Let me
about?
get in
speak
on
for
this.
women the same way I can't speak for men.
I didn't say
I
nothing
can't speak
about
for men
vaginas.
because I'm
What are you
not a
talking about?
man. You're telling two women
All right,
what
I'm out,
women
y'all.
find attractive,
Gotta
right?
get close.
You're
Don't
telling
leave.
women
Don't
what
leave. I
women
got
find
smoke for you,
attractive.
Mike.
You can't do that
I'm
because you're
coming
not
for
a
you.
woman. So you can't speak for women the same way
Can you
I
stay?
can't speak
Yes,
for men.
you.
All right,
Sugar
I'll
Mike
stay
didn't even
around.
say anything.
I can't let
All
him talk smoke to a ghost. I'm already dark, so I don't want you to talk to a ghost. So go ahead.
All right, hold on. Well, let me just put something else in here. So I'm out here on these Tinder streets, right? And I see these girls, and they're just like the law original. They're like, must put God first. I'll be honest with you. These girls, they're attractive, man. They look good. They got it together, like looks wise. And I'm just wondering, like, what is the bare minimum to have a relationship with God? Like, I want to fake it. Like, how could I fake it so I can date one? Do I have to go to church every Sunday? What do I have to do?
You can't fake a relationship.
Because
Well,
you'll
what-
expose yourself at some point. That
But what
facade will
does it
come
mean
down.
when you say a relationship with God? And to me, someone doesn't go to church. To me, it means church on Sundays.
So what does it
and
mean?
tithe 10%.
So what does it mean
Commitment,
to have a
dedication to
relationship?
God.
No. What does it mean to have a relationship with your wife?
Commitment, dedication,
You spend time with her, you
consistency.
talk to her, you entreat her for advice, you go to her. God wants that. He wants you to commune with him on a regular basis. He wants you to have prayer with him every single day, communication. And you can't have a relationship with someone if you don't talk to them. So it's a relationship is actually getting to know the person, letting them get to know you. But a lot of
How you
people
got
don't
a
take the time
relationship
to
with
do that.
someone?
So if I want to trick one of these girls, I have to like
Oh
pretend
my
to
God.
pray. Help
No,
me out.
just find somebody who is your equal, who doesn't, find somebody
I
who's
want these
like-minded
religious
like
girls. They
you.
look good.
How you got a relationship with them? You don't even go to their house.
I'm done.
Hold on, no, don't be done.
I'm
Can I
done
read
with you.
I have a favorite psalm. Can I read it? It's
Okay.
Timothy 2:12. I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. On that note, Trigger Mike. It's Timothy 2:12. I don't know you that well, Mike.
That's in reference to pre.
I hope this doesn't come off disrespectful, but maybe it will. But honestly, I need to talk to you. And I'm just gonna do it on camera. Your mouth is reckless and I hate to sound like a white knight or a simp, but for you to sit up here and say that you got 3 ex-girlfriends just holding out, waiting for you to come back, welcome back, Cotter, or whatever. And all you just waiting for your wife to make a mistake, and everyone out here in these single Tinder streets is having fun and getting it on. Dude, you need to slow your roll. If I was your wife, I would have a secret bank account immediately. That's
My
what
man, how
Yes,
the
sir.
hell did you take that from what I said?
You said you got
How the hell did you take that from what I said, Barnabas?
If I had a
So,
wife
hold
that
on,
had
hold on.
3 ex-boyfriends,
Hold on,
and she's in contact with them,
So,
that's a no.
no, this is what I'm
You
saying.
said you got 3
So
ex-girlfriends,
when I was in
and they're
college,
just lying.
hold on.
They want the forbidden fruit again.
Hold on. So
Where's my lighter?
most people that you go to college with, you have the same friend groups. So most of the ex-girlfriends that I had, unfortunately, there is a crisis where only one in four black women are married. So most of everybody's ex-girlfriends, if you black, are single. It's a mathematical certainty. So these women are over the age of 35 now. And we know that's the age where they start to get a little, like, hey, well, I should have made different decisions. All right. So what I'm saying is I was the most beloved boyfriend of all of them. I don't know what they've done since. I was good with
You
all their
lied to
families and
yourself,
whatnot.
man. These girls got your head turned to mush. All girls tell you you're the best, but the truth is you're not.
Okay, Barnabas. Okay.
No, please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I gotta go back.
No, keep telling me. Keep
telling me.
I gotta go back. I got a flight in the morning. Y'all be good.
Oh,
yeah. That's right.
Are you mad at me?
No. He's got it.
No. I literally I'm like, how did you get that? I got 3 ex-girlfriends. Like, hold on, real quick. You watching the show? Yeah.
That's your wife. Divorce papers are served.
No,
You're
that's
reckless with the
not
mouth.
my wife.
You're mad disrespectful.
No, that's not my wife.
Yo.
You'd be like,
In fact, let me
me.
hold on.
You're
Barnabas,
doing me a favor.
I forgot to
I
leave
want
it.
to get out of these single bars.
Wives know. Wives even know
Wives
that
know what?
wives even know that if they slip up, not even in the sense of it's very easy for a man. I have a homie. Listen to this. With 4 kids, his wife left him right after she had their twins. She wasn't happy. She just basically wanted some new peen. That's because they were each other's first.
Sounds like postpartum depression.
Hold on.
Or a white knight
Hold on.
again.
No, God, you are being a white knight. Hold on.
Well,
She wanted some new peen.
Been proven through.
She wanted some new peen, so she
Oh my
left him.
God, this
He
is
tried to
good.
repair the marriage. This dude with 4 kids got married between 2 years to a woman that looked better, got a better job, loves those kids, and all of that. And now the ex-wife is mad and want him back. All wives.
Did that woman have kids?
No, not one. She didn't have one kid.
She's a bozo.
This is what women listen.
What is
he? So first off, he works for JP Morgan. He's a vice president at JP Morgan.
He got 4 kids. She's wilding.
And she loves them. They just had one. They just had one of their own.
Yes, but with all these childless men out here, she picked a man with 4 kids. Boy,
Yep.
That's a different type of crap.
Yeah.
No.
And look, hold on. La Original, she's bad.
Stuff like that.
She's bad. That's the craziest part about it.
I don't care about the ex-wife being mad. It's just like, if you have no children, why would you get with a man who got 4?
His new wife is not. She's not ugly. She's not fat. She's actually.
No. I don't care about that. But the new wife has no children, correct? Or she didn't have any children.
They have one now, but she didn't have any when they
No. I'm saying she had no kids, and out of all these childless men, she picked a man with 4 kids.
Must be rich.
She's pretty, but she's not that bright.
Anyways, Trigger Mike, you're talking reckless. You're talking crazy. I hope your wife's not listening because you're in trouble.
She got
that private account.
She's telling me I'm yelling too loud because the kids can hear me.
And one day you're going to come home, the bank account's going to be cleaned out, just like we said. So,
and I already told you what I'm doing. Like, you better run and go high.
That's so disrespectful.
You better be off to Panama or some shit because
I'm not your wife. Because I'm
going to jail if I find you
tonight. I'd leave you.
You going to jail?
No, his wife loves him. I actually met her. She's a sweetheart.
I wouldn't love his ass. I'm not talking that kind of shit. No disrespect.
I don't know, Barnabas. I don't know.
Well, you know, love is about acceptance. If she knows who he is,
divorced.
Mike is a God-fearing man.
I don't know, Barnabas. Only one of us is divorced. Maybe if you talk like me, I'm just saying.
Okay, write a book. Yeah, I need help. Actually, I'm going to come around to the evil side. Thank you.
That God-fearing man thing is a finesse. I know just how to do it. You put the right suit on. You go to church a couple weekends. You drop a couple of verses in that thing, and them girls be forgetting all about Jesus. What you talking about?
The slow girl. That doesn't work with everybody. That's what discernment.
Yeah.
Yo,
it doesn't
big
work
clout.
standards.
I love it, especially when sister. Maybe we need to get together and do some prayer and really meditate on the Lord.
Bible study.
Get out of here.
Sister, you want to meet me at Bible study, sister?
That's called missionary dating. You don't do that.
Well, if you have discernment, none of that is gonna work.
None of it.
It's not gonna work if she got discernment.
I've seen it work. I've seen hustlers girls get them pregnant and leave them.
Y'all
in
know
the
I
church.
have
I've seen it.
Y'all know I have a theory that women
I know a pastor.
have what is it called? Dissociative disorder, like multiple personality disorder. I think all women actually have that. Because what y'all will do is y'all claim stuff doesn't work. But we are the men. Remember, we experience y'all.
I said with discernment.
No,
with discernment. Most people don't have discernment.
It does work. It does work.
Most people.
In your method, in your moments of like loneliness, of course, in your conscious mind right now, yeah, you could say that stuff doesn't work. But it's the second you get emotional about anything, you get a little lonely, you get a little desperate.
I don't think y'all know what discernment is.
I do know.
Discernment is God given.
Discernment is logic. What are you talking about?
The
problem is this finesse works on weak women. The type of women we are,
on
you
all
actually
type of women.
want to.
It works on all like.
You know how many pastors?
That's
Hold
why
on.
it's
You know how
called
many
finesse.
pastors
Let me
are
finish.
sleeping with wives
Let
in the
me
church?
finish. Women, the type of woman that I am, that Elle sounds like she is, that's the kind of woman that you are going to want to marry. And you have to prove over time that you are consistently this type of man. You can't just be like, oh, I went to church 2 times and that's it. I got in the panties. Like, women who have standards, women who are looking for a man of character, with good integrity, it's not going to happen in a couple weeks. You're going to have to put in months and even a year or years to see that you are a quality man before you're just going to like jump into bed with them.
All right.
The men that be in church are the ones who have to watch out for marriage. The men in church are the ones you have to watch out for the most. The men in church are the ones you have to watch out for the most, more so than the men that are out here. That's why men saying, "Oh, I go to church, let's fellowship." Like, let me pray on it, because that doesn't mean anything. The men in church be the worst ones sometimes.
All right. So name me what's a woman that can't be finessed? Name me a woman that can't be finessed.
My sister,
She
she's a pastor.
has discernment.
My
So
sister, she's a pastor.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess you're saying that you've disclosed that saving herself for marriage and all of that type of stuff. But I think my ultimate goal is, my ultimate point is that women, when we say a man can't finesse women or a woman is unfinessable, it's actually biological that men were made to finesse women. It's that we're only supposed to use that power for good. Right? A man is
Like, I
perfectly
think some men
built.
think that they're better than they actually are.
Well, yeah, some men,
sometimes
but
your
I'm saying
finesse moves
a
go
man.
in and you're just like,
I was gonna say a man is
like,
gonna be. It don't have to
God
be
did not
that
make men to
man.
finesse women.
I'm saying, say it again.
God did not make men to finesse women.
Well, in a way, you were just saying it different. But God made man to have dominion over women, did he not?
Yeah, yes, you're absolutely right.
Exactly. So that means that dominion and authority can come with finesse. In fact, men use
No,
that.
absolutely not. Finesse is not godly. Absolutely not.
I said use the powers for good. You're supposed to use that power for good, and some men don't. You use your dominion and your
If
authority
you have
to
to
break
finesse,
women
yeah,
down
but finesse
for
isn't a
sexual
good thing. If
pleasure.
you have to finesse a person, that's not a good thing. Finesse seem more like that's on
You know
Satan's
what?
side, not.
yeah,
I'm
it's
just
more
saying.
like
I'm gonna go brush my
Yeah,
teeth.
finesse is not godly.
Y'all not hearing me tonight, so I'm gonna go brush my teeth.
No, I'm hearing you, but the
Limitations for
terminology
finesse.
that you're using doesn't. A godly man is not gonna finesse. That doesn't make any sense.
A pastor finesses people. They've been
No,
caught
we just
finessing.
those are not real
Listen.
pastors. Those only God can make a pastor. Those are not real
Listen.
pastors.
All the finesse is using somebody and making them feel good about it. That's all the finesse is. So it's like that. That's all it is. So when I say, if I'm a pastor and I get you to give me my money because you give me your money because you feel like you're helping God's plan, you got finesse. Especially if I use it to buy some new gators.
That's called tithe and offering. It's biblical.
But don't they ask for
Malachi.
more tithe?
Oh, right. Tithe, exactly. It's tithe and offering, right? Yeah. It's not a finesse, right?
What about those pastors that yell at the
So
church?
you feel good about it?
And tell them they're heathens because they haven't.
Absolutely, and I benefit from it.
Exactly. That's the
put it
best
to the
finesse.
test. I have
The best
put it to
finesse.
the
You
test.
feel good about it at the end.
No, because what tithing actually is you giving the first 10% of your income to God, and He blesses the 90%. This has nothing to do.
Yeah, I know
with
you're giving money to God. Yep.
This has nothing to do with the pastor.
Can tithes be considered taxes? Because that's what the government does.
No,
Yes, you're giving money to the all powerful.
no. Actually, most churches are nonprofit. So
Okay.
No taxes.
Like I think.
Yeah, no, it has to do with God. It has nothing to do with the church.
I mean, it's supposed to go with keeping the house together. Now, once you give, and then the pastor or whoever's in charge of the money decides to do stuff otherwise, and I think that's when the fault comes. But I think that the whole idea of it is for you to tie it into a place where people come together to worship together, and hopefully the money is going in there. So once you're giving, then I think you served your purpose. Now, what they do afterwards, then that's when they're going to be held accountable for their actions.
Right.
Yes.
And there are biblical principles that are tied to tithing if you actually do research on it. I have put it to the test.
Let me tell you something.
I'm being playing devil's advocate. I think tithing is good. I'm just pressing a little bit.
I have put it to the test.
Well, like I do have a couple experiences, and we get up out of here because I know we gotta get everybody. But
Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, we've gone so long. I apologize.
so, I mean, this is crazy, right? And Kelly is correctly. I mean, she has a high standard when it comes to having a relationship with God. I mean, she really does. I mean, her family is deep into it. When I say deep, I mean deep. A lot of things.
Like we're in a cult.
No, it's deep, man. It's deep. I'm not gonna even lie to you. It's another world that I've never seen, never experienced before. So we go to church for the first time in a while, right? You know, new city, found a church shopping, trying to figure out which church best suits. You know, it's a feeling, right? When you go there, you gotta feel like you're in the right place. And so I go there. I typically have a Sunday show, and what I did was I said, you know what? I don't even know what time the show gonna start, but let me just focus on going to church. And it's crazy because that Sunday, some mysterious person named O super chatted $499.
Mm.
Right after left church. Never seen this person before. Don't know what happened, but I just was like, man, I don't even know who that person even was. The other time was, I don't know if you guys remember when Chase had that they would pay one of your bills. I don't know if you guys would Chase, but basically, like, if you have a charge, Chase would just fund one of those charges. And so I remember just tied. I didn't have that much. I wasn't even making that much. This was when I was in my early 20s. And I went to church and I just tied. And I went to the bank. I'm like, where's this extra money come from? I went to the bank and they're like, well, it looked like Chase must have paid one of your bills. I'm just like, I've never seen that before. Because you hear it advertised, but you would never think you would be one of those people to receive that. So I do believe that it's some good deeds come to you once you pay your tithes. So
Absolutely.
You give God the first 10%, he'll take care of the rest.
I don't even know if it was 10%. I just gave what I had. And I was just like, man, I just took a chance. Like, that's all
You
my
can
life.
call it a finesse, but you'll watch your money be finessed correctly in life. Just put it to the test. That's all I say.
I know we got to get up out of here, but before we do, last, I just want to congratulate Kelly Connections. You know, this is her first stream. I think she did an awesome job. So
Thank you everyone for joining. You guys were awesome. You guys were fun. I had a blast.
Yeah, this is a great show.
This is a fun show. This is a fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
laughed.
really.
I
Yes.
shared some laugh, tears, and all that good stuff. So make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you support her. Yeah, it's a good show. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And thank you, Trigger Mike, for staying. Even though you have to get up early. I appreciate it.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, lie. I hope you ain't mind me
Barnabas, we got
pressing
smoke
you a little
next
bit.
show. Me and Barnabas got smoke. I'm coming after him all next show. I don't care what he say. I'm all over that.
Bring it. I'm ready.
Hey, Klaus, she's there. I know she's working too. So
I'm here. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind me pressing you a little bit. You know, just putting a little pressure on you.
No, I don't get pressed. But nah. This is nice. It's nice seeing you guys again.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We gotta get
And we're
girl, I know. Yeah, when you come up here, I'm gonna take you. We're gonna get all the knockoff bags.
I'm coming.
All of them.
Yes,
All of them.
all of them. Because I don't
You did
care
that a
about
little
a
too
name
good.
brand. I care about a good
No, my wife
deal.
is from Jamaica, Queens. My wife is from Jamaica, Queens.
Nuh-uh.
All her sisters except one live here now. That's all I
We're gonna get her back. We're gonna get her back.
She's coming too. She's coming too.
We're gonna
Let's
get her
take a
back
trip to New York. Let's take a trip. Let's go. Lapiva's actually never been to New York.
You lying?
Never. So
You seem like a New York kind of dude.
Yeah, it's a bad time, bro. New York is trash now.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it
We
ain't
should have
getting no
went there
better.
years ago. New York is trash now.
no, it's not. We can still do the touristy things. We can do the Statue of Liberty. We can go to the Empire State Building.
Yo, you know, those people that are born and raised here never
Do the
been to
rat
the Statue
tours.
of Liberty because we're
Yes,
not.
yes. So my father's from Brooklyn, and then he moved to Queens. And when we went to go visit them, none of my cousins have ever been to the Statue of Liberty. They came with us.
That exactly.
I never been.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I
the
never
same thing
been.
in Chicago.
I've been, but like we don't. You know.
It's the same thing in Chicago. So when Kelly came to Chicago, I'm like, I've never been on a boat tour. You know, when you live
I like
there and you
Chicago.
ride past, you see it. Nobody's going to try. I never went to the Tilt. You know, the Tilt has been there for a while. I've never been in that. I mean, I guess
I took them.
you can go anytime, but it's like this is tourist stuff. Like,
I took them.
see this stuff every day. So
I know, but it's cool to experience your city.
oh no, it was definitely cool. I mean, they have an amazing view with the bar upstairs with the Tilt. So that's definitely a vibe. It's something you want to experience when you do go to Chicago. I've never been to the art museum either, and that's something that we visited. You ain't missing much, but I do think, you know, if you're into art, they definitely have some things there.
Don't bring your camera. You can't record. The lady like attacked him. It took his camera.
She was like, "Is that a camera?"
She's like, you can't record in here. She like tackled him and took the camera.
You can't take
I got
pictures
it.
of art.
No, you
I
couldn't bring the
definitely
camera.
could screenshot and show it, but I know Trigger Mike got to go.
That sounds
Okay,
crazy.
okay. You're right.
So the Trigger Mike, you want me to show it? I'll show it real quick.
What?
Trigger Mike, you are tapped out, Trigger Mike. Never mind.
I'm tapped out, bro.
No.
I'm literally.
All right, go ahead.
I,
All right, go take us home. Kelly, take us home.
Oh, did you want me to end in prayer?
Well, I guess.
let's do it.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for having this wonderful show and for all the men being God-fearing men. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And tithing.
Very terrible. On that note,
You're not in charge.
y'all have a
You're not in
blessed
charge
night.
of prayer.
Next time, I'll be ready.